All right, welcome in once again, Lings and Queens. Yet another IG event. This is our IG King of the Hill number 11, brought to you by itsgosu.com. I'm AC, that's Red Mage JR. And once again, we've got a great group of competitors signed up to take each other on head-on to see who's going to land the throne this time around.
Oh, you're absolutely right about that, AC. We're going to be getting into the first matchup here between Baltica and Box Lunch, taking place on our first map, MLG Metalopolis. This map was our favorite one that we like to start on here. We're going to be kicking it, with a PvP first off the bat there, AC.
Yeah, we just got done with a lot of PvPs in our last event. The IG Cup was last night, IG Cup number 8. If you missed it, you definitely got to go back and check out the VOD. Some of the most amazing games that I know we've casted so far since we've begun working with Itsgosu. So, if you missed it, you definitely got to go check that out. Check out the VOD down on our more videos. Jumping right into things here, I love it, getting started. Box Lunch, a guy we're very familiar with. We've done a lot of work with him. He's played in a lot of our events. And Baltica, not so much, but hopefully we're going to see if he can challenge Box Lunch, who is quite the prolific player, if I do say so myself.
Oh, yeah, Box Lunch is a very, very good player. I really like his style of Protoss, and, Baltica I've seen once or twice. So it helps if I turn down the volume on the stream.
Yeah.
I'm trying to talk.
Don't you love when I forget to do that all the time too? So don't worry about it.
It's because I have it on, sometimes just to make sure that we're coming through okay, and then I forgot to turn off the volume. But it's I've seen Baltica play a couple of times, and both of these guys could really do some serious damage here, especially with the close air positions that they're in right now. A lot of techniques, because Box Lunch does tend to favor some of those some of the airborne units sometimes in a lot of his gameplay. So we could easily see him go for some Void Rays or Phoenixes pretty quickly.
Yeah, Box Lunch loves to be aggressive, and really, he's turned out and played in a few of our other tournaments. I know, unless mine eyes and mine memory deceive me, I'm almost positive he's played in a few of our Omega Divisionals, and he's one of the few. We tend to have and it's part of what makes the King of the Hills fun. We always have a pretty new list of players almost every week, but Box Lunch has played in almost every King of the Hill event we've had. And, he loves to get in and to smash faces, brand new faces every week, and he loves to get in and tend to be very, very aggressive and even creative, I guess would be the word. Not to say he shies away from 4-gate if he smells blood in the water, but he's also one to do stuff like hide Stargates and go for, blind blink stalker cheese and all that fun stuff. So, gonna be fun one way or the other. We didn't take a look at Baltica's league. Box Lunch, I'm almost positive, is a Masters player or at least a Diamond, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
I want to say yes. I want to say that's right. He's either going to be a high diamond, low master, somewhere in there, because he's definitely been pretty good. Baltica, I did not have a chance to look at that prior to the start. Hopefully we'll see some really, really top-notch play out of everybody here.
All right, so welcome in again, guys. It's a pleasure to have you here with us, whether you come from Team Liquid or from Reddit or from parts unknown. It's a pleasure to have you. And I'm AC, that's Red Mage JR. If this is your first experience with us, hopefully you'll forgive our terrible movie references and our constant talk about Casper Van Dien. Casper Van Dien, an obsession that Red Mage has somehow managed to infect me with. And just out of curiosity, I forgot to ask you about this. This tends to be your kind of shtick when it comes to dealing with these events. Are we giving away cards tonight, my friend?
We are.
Yes.
They gave us 2 decks to give away today. So for those of you who weren't with us yesterday, shame on you, but you do still have an opportunity to pick up one of 2 packs of special edition Magic cards that we're giving away thanks to our great martial arts sponsor, because I can't do their name any justice, so we'll wait till after the game and I'll let you go ahead with that. But these special edition Magic cards, they're from the Planeswalker series. They were only available for sale in the 2010 New York Comic Convention. So if you'd like a chance to win one of these packs, all you have to do, this is very simple, is you have to be a follower of ours on JustinTV, Justin.tv or TwitchTV.com, whichever one you want to call it. It's the same thing. And all you have to do is just send me your nickname to contest@itsgosu.com and just say, I want to win some cards. I want to win some Magic cards. You can put whatever you want in there. Just, I want to win some Magic cards, and just include your nickname for JustinTV or TwitchTV.com. And we'll enter you in the drawing toward the end of the event here, and we'll announce the 2 winners. So everybody just go ahead, contest at itsgosu.com. Just put in there that your nickname, and that's all you have to do is be a follower of ours at JustinTV or
Right.
TwitchTV.com. So it's that simple, literally that simple. And these cards are pretty cool because they sold for like $15 a pack. But I've checked eBay for a couple of the cards that are possibly in each of the boxes, and some of them go for as high as $125. So
Oh, yeah.
you could go from having pizza money to being able to afford the extra special edition of Heart of the Swarm when it comes out at your local retailer.
All right, so we got some action going on while we were hollering that out, hopefully. I know our viewers. We have some of the smartest, best viewers in the world. Shameless plug to our viewers, and lots of love to them. This assimilator was blocked initially by Box Lunch. Now he's beginning to move out and get aggressive. The proxy pylon down now, defended by 3 stalkers. This is not a 4 warp gate push. Well, actually, I take it back. It's going to be a 4 warp gate push. He tacked on the last 2 gates a little bit late. So he kind of feigned a 2-gate possible robo expand, and that led to Baltica taking his Nexus very early, and now Baltica has his units down at the bottom of the ramp, which means he's not going to be able to rely on Force Field to try and hold this off and cut it in half. So Box Lunch looking to take things down very, very quickly. This is something he's known for, something we're used to seeing him do. And Baltica, though, not familiar with him, but he seems to be a competent player, and I think we're going to find out. Going to be another macro battle. This is a large stalker count, though, for Lunch. He's up to about 8 stalkers, but 4 zealots, 3 sentries, and 1 stalker as well. He needs to use force fields to try and cut these stalkers off. Right now would be a great time. Oh, use the force fields. He so easily could have cut off a few of those stalkers. Now they're going to rush in. We see this pylon already well forward by Lunch, meaning he's going to be able to warp in very easily. He can't cancel the Nexus at this point, really allowing that to finish may end up proving to be what's going to cost him this opening game, because now Lunch is warping in right on top of him. The Zealots going to work here right on top of the sentries. He's going to walk on up the ramp, so he has no sentries of his own, can't force field his opponent out of his own base, but really the unit counts at the moment for Baltica pretty low. More units coming in now. Yeah, Box Lunch with 4 more Zealots being rallied in. I think this is going to be it here, Red Mage. I think Baltica fell for the 2-gate feign, so to speak, and it's going to end up costing him here. This Immortal, though, it depends on how much damage he takes before this initial Immortal pops out.
Oh yeah, this Immortal will be here.
Nope, there it is.
Oh, he's gonna go ahead and just call the GG right there, even before the Immortal popped. So I was hoping he probably would stick in just a little bit longer for that Immortal, see what it could do, and then depending on its fate, GG from there. But no, that was an impressive move by Box Lunch to kind of fake that one out on Baltica, and it's just weird. Sometimes that kind of thing happens. You got to be all kinds of ready for things like that. So.
Yep, so, but once again, I see already we're starting to see our viewer count jump up. I love it. Nice to have each and every one of you in here with us. I'm AC, that's Red Mage JR, and this is our King of the Hill number 11. Not going to be a super long event. We've got about a little over a dozen players signed up, so we're going to have some pretty good games out here for you. Already taking a look at the chat. Thank you, Dick Sud 3, who says great casting in the chat. We appreciate it very much. But if you don't like what we're doing, tell us as well. We're not those guys who are going to get in an argument with their stream because you say we suck. If we suck, I want to know, because I don't want to suck anymore. So anyway, and by the way, while you're setting up the next game here, I'm not sure if you've heard, Blurms Boy called this out, and we actually have it up on our news on itsgosu.com. Complexity bought out Root Gaming. So
yeah, that was really weird. I remember I saw the tweet and I texted it to you on your phone. Like,
oh, did you?
I didn't know this.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. My phone's been screwy. It's a known issue with my version of Droid. I got to get it replaced. The battery's going all bonkers. But yeah, and we're friends with a lot of members of Complexity. We're good friends with Star Life. We've worked with Cruncher. We've worked with Fire Zerg. They participated and placed second, I should say, in our faction wars, which just wrapped up last week. So, of course, Rise, a good buddy of ours. One of the few guys that we know, and there's Thor fan drawing is less than 2 heart that I made a very mean joke about because we had been casting for 7 hours at that point, and I lost my filter. But anyway,
we have a filter.
But okay, so here's what what comes to mind immediately for me. And I'm not going to lie, we like the guys at Root, we like the guys at Complexity. I'm not entirely sure that this merger is going to be very doable, I guess, in terms of the egos involved. can you really get your head around the fact that Cruncher and Destiny are now teammates? I mean, does that make sense? And what bizarro universe does that make any sense at all?
You're absolutely right about that. Sorry, I'm handling something in the chat. Give me 1 second.
No, yeah, it's not a problem. But yeah, guys, since you're hanging out with us in the chat, we're getting a lot of viewers in from Team Liquid and from Reddit. Type out your thoughts, in between games here. This is something I love to discuss with the community in between games while we wait to get our other players pulled in. But, it's just kind of weird. Well, and here's really the big thing that is being talked about. But, you say, oh, Complexity and Root, they merged, or, well, more accurately, Complexity bought out Root. But they lost Kiwi, Cocky, and Slush in that. That's what, that's to me is the biggest deal, is that when Root was bought out by Complexity, Kiwi, Cocky, and Slush said, nope, I'm not going, man. So now you've got two of the best players, hands down best players in North America, floating around without a team. And really, arguably, I would say pretty confidently, the two best players on Root Gaming did not make the jump when Root was bought out. So what's the reasoning behind that? Where are they going to end up landing? And I can't help but think maybe they knew that there was going to be a lot of friction in terms of the egos of the people involved. So, yeah, Blurm's boy says best on that team. I couldn't agree more. It's and not to hate on the rest of Root. But, I don't think there's really any debate to it. It's Slush and Kiwi Cocky were the best players on Root. And, we're good friends with Root Dodoro. He comes out and plays in a lot of our events, so nothing but love to him. But, Slush and Kiwi really were just kind of on a different level. And I'm beginning to suspect that we may see at least Kiwi. I'm not sure about Slush, but I got a feeling Kiwi's going to wind up at FXO. Just because of the ties he has there through QXC. And just based on past history. But pointless speculation. If I'm wrong, guys, tell me why in the chat. In the meantime, SKS Dark and Boxed Lunch going to be coming up in our next game. We're already counting down. It's a pleasure to be here with you once again. IG King of the Hill, number 11 action. I'm AC, that's Red Mage JR, and this is brought to you by itsgosu.com, by our brand new sponsor, SteelSeries. We just picked him up last week. And, of course, the rest of our sponsors, Cyberground.us, Max Integration, and Sanya Mabushi Jujutsu in combination, Goju Ryu School of Self-Defense. You can find them at sanyamabushi-goju.com. So, Zelmaga Caverns, that's where we're heading, man, and we're going to have a little bit of a PvT action. PvT is, and it's not your favorite matchup, not my favorite matchup, but I think you and I both agree that PvT is probably the single most balanced matchup right now.
Oh yeah, it's definitely it's like a lock and key. There's a lot of things that you can do to kind of swivel around your opponent, but it's the same thing with them. They can easily counter what you're doing. So playing a Terran, it's kind of cool because now I can actually talk about what's going on as opposed to just being like, yeah, you're right, AC. Yeah, Protoss, Zerg, okay, great. Yeah, no, but it's just cool because I'm right there with you. Terran and Protoss are basically right there on top of each other with what they can do because everything hard counters something else there's not some lone unit that can't be countered or that can't be done away with.
Well, in the other matchups, it's like a lot of times you find that there's one unit that the entire matchup revolves around. The one that comes to mind immediately is the Infestor in a TVZ. A TVZ without Infestors is almost always going to be a loss for a Zerg player if the game reaches the mid-game. And really, I just don't feel like that's ever the case in a PvT. I don't feel like there's any one unit that is a game changer in this because both races are balanced to the point that they kind of, it's like paper, rock, scissors, really, more so than with the others. No matter what strategy you want to try and put together as a Terran or a Protoss in a PvT matchup, your opponent pretty much has the hard counter to it waiting just one step away, no matter where they go down the tech tree or anything else. So PvTs tend to be my favorite matchups to watch. Even if, well, I won't say my favorite matchups to watch. They tend to me to be the most strategical, so to speak, matchup. So, and Box Lunch and SKS Dark being nice, drawing the little cat face eyes, saying, "Oh, we're going to do a long macro game," etc., etc., etc. And SKS Dark, a guy we know very well, as you can imagine. He helps out with the IG events quite often. And he's really quite a good Terran. He's a Terran that plays a non-North American style, I would even say. GG Last Shadow being his mentor.
Oh yeah, he definitely has showed you and I several times that some very aggressive harassment and very intriguing harassment that each of us has put into our own builds sometimes. So and this of course is being a kind of kind of a grudge match between the two. These two faced off a couple of weeks ago, I believe, in another cloth, and Box Lunch rolled over pretty substantially.
Oh, did he?
So yeah, it was quite brutal.
There we go. Box Lunch calling it out. Colossus drop for the win. Oh yeah, I love it. The most memorable moment in IG King of the Hill history was seeing the Colossus drop, and that does, I'm not talking like he I can't remember who it was that did it to who. I know it was on Crevasse. I remember that. And a guy rolled in with a Warp Prism with the Colossus in the hold. It's not like you open the Warp Prism up and use the Colossus to do a little bit of range damage and picked up and ran away. No, he dropped the Colossus right in the middle of the friggin' mineral line, man. And just allowed to do that. The much underutilized Colossus harassment. It's something that very standard, something that we're of course going to see very often, I'm sure. But we can see already Dark. Living up to his mentor's proud heritage, getting that second expansion up very, very early, even before the 5-minute mark, using Marines to defend very, very thin, and now tacking on more barracks. So we're going to have to wait and see exactly what his plan is going to be. Dark tends to favor tank play a lot. It's like there are kind of two diametrically opposing strategies in terms of trying to deal with a Protoss and a PVT, it seems like. One is tank-oriented, and the other tends to be much more just flat-out bio-medevac oriented, even foregoing tanks entirely in a lot of cases. So Dark hasn't quite tipped his hand as to which style he's going to favor. Right now, Lunch being very, very safe, getting his sentry count high, going the 3-gate route, starting to bank minerals a bit, so we're probably going to see an expansion sometime in the very near future, I would hope. Otherwise, he's going to fall hopelessly behind.
Yeah, I would definitely assume that Box Lunch knows exactly what he's doing. He's got to be going for that Nexus, and now we see that probe going out there right now. So, yeah, right there, right on cue. You were right. He's going to go ahead and take that because that's another thing that that Dark is starting to pick up a lot more from the Last Shadows type of play. Is he's going to start probably get another base here either in the sunken third, or he's going to go for the gold to be a little bit more aggressive. But when you see Box Lunch starting to move out now on the right hand side of the Zonaga Tower, taking with him that probe, probably going to lay himself down there's the pylon going to come in right in the gold patch there. So he's definitely looking to be a little bit more aggressive here. And I think he might catch Dark just off the side. So.
Yeah, well, the SCV here for Dark right beside this little staging point, so we're going to have to wait and see. This is going to be a fairly aggressive push on high sentry count. He's going to rely on these sentries to try and focus down this bunker. And this is how one way you can punish players like Dark and like his mentor GG Last Shadow. They tend to favor cutting corners and using very thin defense. And if you can use superior control, you can abuse it. So a little bit of a miscontrol there. The Stalker takes some damage. There he goes, going straight to the mineral line. Says, screw it, I have no desire to engage on your terms. I'm going to make you pull these Marines out. The Zealot's being pulled in. A little bit of a waste of a force field there. That's not going to accomplish much. Already going to town now on the orbital command, trying to focus that down. Not sure that's the best move given the high sentry count. Just not enough DPS in this little mix. Now, yeah, just kind of skirting around. This is almost what you'd call like a harassment push. Harassment, you tend to think of cute, fast units along the lines of the Banshee, but he's not really trying to go for the jugular here. He's just trying to keep his opponent off guard by skirting around the edges. Now he wants to go for the jugular, moving in with a high zealot count. There we go. The Guardian Shields and great force fields are going to prevent any kind of SCVs from getting in there. That single tank, really the unit I think is going to be the saving grace for Dark here. If that tank wasn't there, Lunch I don't think would be pulling back right now. But yeah, this is this is my Hosu less than 3. But
Hosu, that's right.
Oh yes. But Dark holding there, great timing on that tank. But Box Lunch was was a misclick. Yeah, and this is one of those things I think I love about our King of the Hills too, is we tend to have a lot more candid moments with the players. I think they tend to communicate us via the chat whenever they feel like they made a mistake and they know they're being streamed. So. But Dark, making do with the thin defense there. Lunch not doing terribly, terribly bad. He's got a second expansion up right now, his natural, I should say, and very close. We go to the income tab, we can see they're right on top of each other in terms of income. So just kind of trading blows there. Dark, those ready to move out, ready to try and put on some counter aggression. And I was just going to say right before Lunch pushed out, just knowing Dark the way that we do, he tends to be a very reactive Terran. He tends to do things that he knows his opponent has to react to, and his whole plan is to just kind of hold the fort and deal with what his opponent does in return, and then counter push. Very rarely do you see Dark just take the aggression, the initiative, I should say, in his aggression. He always waits for his opponent to do something like Lunch did, which is push and have a non-successful push. So Here we go. He's got the tank sieged up right here. The Marine's going to move in. He does not have stem done, though. A few of those Marines cut off, but the tank's going to offer quite adequate artillery cover there to make sure that those force fields are not optimum in terms of trying to cut the units in half. And Lunch has got to be feeling like he's got his balls to the wall a bit here. The Zealot lead charge is way behind Hallucination, the other tech being researched. Hallucination not going to help him out much at the moment. And that +1 way behind. That's such a high Marine count here for Dark as well, up to about 24 Marines. So he's now laying down the siege on this Nexus, and I don't think, if Lunch loses this Nexus, Dark can literally just turn around and walk back home and pretty much have the game wrapped up. It does look like Lunch is just going to sack this, not even going to try to defend it. Instead, going to try to hold his ramp. But at this point, the damage is done. I mean, we see the supply count already beginning to favor Dark by 20. And, at this early point, that's a quarter of their supply. So quite large. He's got enough sentries to hold this ramp for quite some time if he chooses to do so. But again, with the leg charge being so late, and with Dark now up on his expansion and probably ready to take a third, he's going to be just fine moving into the mid-game here.
Oh yeah, and a really good thing for Lunch at this point is would probably be A, to get unsupply block, because he did lose those 3 pylons, so he is putting those back in so he can start to continue to make units. But if you went for some sort of Dark Templars right now, because Dark seems to be burning a ton of scans just to get vision for those siege tanks. But if he's
going to catch Dark here without the tank sieged up, so. Lunch, though, yeah, he just says, okay, never mind. I thought you had left and I was going to catch some units out of place. Now, big mistake here by Dark. No idea what he was thinking. Walked those Marines way too far ahead. He's lost about at least a quarter, if not more, of that Marine ball just because he allowed Lunch to bait him out of the range of the tank. So, misstep there. But really, I don't really think it matters. Dark is in a position where, unless he really screws the pooch in a way that would be even more violent and unethical than the phrase would suggest, there's pretty much no way he's gonna screw away a lead like this with 35 supply lead, his expansion up and running while he's completely controlling the bottom of his opponent's ramp. So I just think it's a matter of time at this point before we see the GG.
Oh yeah, but right there we see that Dark Shrine is going in, so he may try to hold him back as much as he can. I don't know why he didn't have those sentries up closer to the ramp beforehand, before that army got in there, because now they're just going to be able to pick him apart. So,
Foo.
So there we go. There's the GG there by Box Lunch. That's going to move Dark into the next position here. So we're going to put Dark versus who is next up on the list here. Dark is going to go up against
somebody awesome, I'm sure.
I believe.
While you figure that out. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. I'm AC, that's Red Mage JR, and this is our IG King of the Hill number 11, brought to you by itsgosu.com, and of course by our new lead sponsor, SteelSeries. We've just had the pleasure of announcing our sponsorship agreement with them over the last few days, and of course by all of our other sponsors, Cyberground.us, Max Integration, and the mouthful sponsor, the one who is allowing us to give away the Magic the Gathering cards to our viewers. We'll be getting into that in just a minute. Ready? Take a deep breath, say it with me. San Yamabushi Jujutsu and Combination Goju Ryu School of Self-Defense. You can find them at sanyamabushi-goju.com. So, while you're setting up that next match, Red Mage, if you're just joining us in the stream, we are having a giveaway for our viewership, and the rules are very, very simple. All you have to do is hit follow on Justin TV or Twitch TV or whichever way you manage to get to this stream so you can hear my wonderful voice. Just hit follow on that, and then send an email to contest@itsgosu.com listing your Justin.tv screen name or nickname or what have you. And, some cute little phrase, if you wish, something along the lines of, give me the magic cards, please, or, call us names or whatever. Just make sure you use the words magic cards somewhere in your email. We're going to be giving away 2 packs of very special edition Planeswalker Magic cards this evening. And those who are big in the Magic the Gathering, I'm sure, are aware and know what Planeswalker cards are in that whole deck and all that. But this is actually a little bit more special than the name would lend, because the packs we're giving away are very special promotional edition packs that were only available in one place at one time until now. They were available at the New York Comic Convention in 2010, so it's been more than a year. We've got our hands on a bunch of these packs of promo edition cards, and they wholesale, not retail, mind you, wholesale for around $15 to $20 a piece, meaning you probably get considerably more than that by retail reselling them on eBay, and that's of course in addition to the option which I advocate, which is treating them like a friggin' scratch-off card, man. You know, even if you don't care about Magic, you can resell them on eBay or what have you, or you can just open them up, and you never know, you may pull one of those cards in the pack that's worth $40-50, or maybe you could be real lucky and pull one of the cards worth more than $100. And you know a little bit more about that than I do, Red Mage. You're the local Magic the Gathering guru, so to speak, on the IG staff.
Yeah, they're sorry, handling something else in the chat here.
You're good.
Yeah, no, they're kind of like, how would I describe them? They're more for the tournament player than the casual player. So there's
Right.
some really good tournament cards in there. So I've been told by plenty of people that go to countless tournaments that these particular deck packs have. Helps if I put them in the right position. There's my screw up for tonight.
It's all right. No problem, brother. Not an issue.
But yeah, no, the packs are pretty good, especially if you have a friend or somebody that likes to play in a lot of Magic tournaments. There are some potential to get some very, very good good cards in there. So it is definitely pretty cool, and especially if you get them for free, you can't go wrong with it.
Well, no, absolutely not. So, again, whether you're into Magic or not, it doesn't matter. It's still a chance for you to win a prize for literally nothing but clicking one button and then sending an email to us. All you have to do, once again, is make sure you're a follower of us on Justin TV, then send an email to contest@itsgosuit.com. Include your Justin.tv screen name so we can confirm that you are indeed a follower of ours. And if you win, we're going to bounce those right out to you. I know our first round of packs were just received by some of our players. I recognize a few winners of some of those packs in the past in the chat right now. So, just something else that we want to give back to you guys, the viewership, for being here and making it possible for us to do what we do.
Oh yeah, well now we're in the game, AC.
I've got you. I'm on
Cool.
top of that. I'm learning, man. You tend
You get right in there.
Yeah, well, no, you tend to sneak it in on me, so I'm keeping a little bit of a better eye on things. But, and I say that with all the love in the world. It's so hard. I had to do it one night whenever you had something else going on, and I had to run the stream and try to set up the games and all that stuff. And we try to take a slightly different approach than some of the other streamers. A lot of the other streamers, and not to say their approach is wrong, but they just don't care to be like, oh, here's my desktop and here's me chatting with the players, and you can just watch that. We tend to put on a little bit more of a production, so to speak. As if you're watching
show,
it.
if you will.
Yes, we try very hard, and despite the obvious lack of talent in the casting department, I think we do a pretty good job most of the time. So anyway, SKS Dark taking on Lauber. Lauber, not a player I'm terribly familiar with, and again, this is why I love our King of the Hills and a lot of our Alpha, Beta Divisionals, and Mega Divisionals, and all of our other events. We tend to see a lot of players we know very well. But Lauber, a guy that his name is somewhat familiar. I'm sure he's competed in one of our IG Cups or something along those lines. But, don't know anything about him. It's going to be another PVT here on Tal'Darim Altar. Those who got a look at Dark. Dark, I know, is a Masters League player. We got a good look at his style. Very reminiscent of GG Last Shadow, who happens to be his mentor/coach, so to speak. And, so look forward to a lot of marine play, a lot of creative play, and a lot of fast expanding. Lauber, no clue what he's going to do, but I know from bitter experience being a Terran player on this map, the thing I fear the most on Tal'Darim Altar is blind blink stalkers off of one base. That punishes any kind of a Terran fast expand so hard, just because of, let's see, where is it? The little gully area, like right here, or even blinking past. Anywhere near the top where you can blink past the bunkers that are going to be inevitable to safeguard a fast expansion. So we'll take a look and see what Lauber's got in store for us.
Oh yeah, it looks like the Tal'Darim Altar is such a cool map because it's very large. You have a lot of base options, expansion options, things like that. But there's a lot of little things, little tricks that you can do to kind of throw your opponent off. There's a lot of little empty areas for you to do drops in, just like you said, the Blink Stalkers, and and then of course the Nidus Networks, which is probably one of my favorite units of all time, just because it looks like a giant sphincter popping out of the ground. It just spits Zergling death everywhere. So it's just I just find that particular unit hilarious. I did get my mothership, but I did not get a Nidus Network yesterday. I was very upset by that. So if any of you Zerg are going to be playing in the later matches, if you really want to get on Red Mage's good side, Nidus Networks. Work one in there. You know, I think one game somebody used it like 6 times or something like that just to throw off his opponent just absolutely everywhere.
Well,
had him just going bonkers with it.
Well, after MLG, I got a feeling I'm already starting to see it a little bit more on the ladder. I haven't had a chance to ladder a ton. I mean, let's be honest, man. We do 20 events a month, literally. If you're new and just joining us here in the stream for the first time, head to itsgosu.com and I can't remember. I think unfortunately we moved the link for it, so I'll pop the calendar up here shortly. But we do 20 events a month, and we've given away $2,500 in cash and prizes just in the last 3 months. So yeah, we're pretty busy. We have to spend a lot more time doing stuff involving StarCraft and not even playing anymore. But yeah, from what I've seen on the ladder, the little bit I've been on, is ever since MLG and Lozira's great usage of the Nidus Network on the last day, we're beginning to see the Nidus Network used in a little bit of a different way. Before, it's been kind of well, if my opponent doesn't see this, I can usually get a quick and dirty GG or a late game, well, he's turtled in, and here's a way for me to try to break him sort of a move. But Lozira really abused the hell out of Nidus Networks, and now I've got a feeling we're going to see a little bit of a change in the metagame because of it. So Lomber's Nexus does finish now out of his expansion, and right on top of that, SKS Dark's Command Center finished as well. So not a lot of aggression here out of any of our players. Dark favoring Marauders instead of Marines this time around. Not sure if that's just to try and prevent Lomber from getting a good read on him in the previous game if Lomber happened to be watching in the stream, or if it's just hey, there's something about this map that makes me favor Marauders a bit more. So Lomber getting a little bit active on the map. He's got the proxy pylon down, and he's got the 3 gates down, so not going to be any kind of crazy pressure here. Looks like he just wants to try and punish Dark a little bit as best as he can, maybe just force Dark to spend a little bit more time focusing on his ramp than he would like.
Oh, yeah, you know, and Lomber's doing great. Just coming in with a good handful of stalkers right there, trying to, just peek up, see what's there. Sees the bunker, kind of pulls out. That's perfect. You're not trying to push the issue. You see what your opponent has, and you just kind of mully back just a little bit. Now, now the thing is Dark going to move out, see where that proxy pylon is placed, and then take it out? Or is he just going to sit back in his base and let that pylon exist? Looks like he's going to send out that SCV, though, to see what he can find. He's just going to the towers. He's not going to the center, which is nice, because a lot of times that is typically where people will put that pylon, is right around that Xel'Naga tower, and Lomber's done a good job by putting it more toward the center now, so it's going to give him a little bit more of an advantage there, and they're now one dead SCV to those 5 stalkers hanging out at the eastern at the eastern Xel'Naga tower. So it's that was smart of Dark. He's got to know that he was close to something at that point if they were coming to get him, but I don't think his game sense is going to tell him to look deeper or look further. So
right.
If I was Lomber, honestly, at this point, you could probably take an expansion now, because you haven't seen a lot out of Dark, and even if he did start to move that army in, you could always warp in behind him and start sandwich.
Well, he's definitely going for the tech route instead of trying to get up a 3rd expansion very fast. He's got the Zealot leg charge about halfway done, being chrono boosted out, and he's tacked on the Forge now as well, chrono boosting out the +1 upgrades. Dark, I gotta say, this is a little bit uncharacteristic of him. Again, this is a guy, yes, no rocks. Yes, that's why we use the MLG GSL version, because screw a bunch of rocks, man. Screw everything about that. It's more 3/4. No idea what he's talking about. Anyway, we know Dark very, very well, and he tends to be a lot more active than we've seen out of him right now. I mean, I've said before, he tends to be a reactive player instead of a player who just puts together timing pushes. He tends to try and base his timings a lot off of his opponent's actions. But at the same time, I'm used to seeing him have a few units out on the map from the early game on into the mid game. Now we're approaching the 10-minute mark, and he's just now beginning to move out. And this is a little bit of an intimidating push, but it's a push that's very thin in terms of there's no medevacs to support it, no tanks to support it. It can be abused and utterly eaten alive by good force fields, and he's going to have to watch his stem timing as well. This is an army that if you stem more than once, you're really causing yourself some damage. Now he's going to spot this pylon as he moves into the center of the map, so finally getting that out of the way. That's not going to supply block his opponent, but just a little bit of a headache. And in the meantime, Lomber taking his 3rd, so there's a little bit of a timing window here for Dark if he does push, where his opponent's going to be behind at least by 1 or 2 production cycles. And he does have the ability to kite. We see all these Zealots, they've got the leg charge, but using stem and without any sort of sentry support, he could kite that army. But Dark and Lauber both right now favoring Tier 1 over just about anything else at the moment. The Dark Shrine, though, didn't even notice. Where did he hide that little guy? I didn't hide it.
It's actually right there in the main.
Yep, yeah. Don't know how I missed that. But the Dark Shrine completes now, and Lauber up to 7 gates as third Nexus is about 3/4 of the way done now.
Oh, yeah, now they're actually 2 Dark Templar on the board. Now they just spawned, just came in on that upper corner there. But unfortunately, there is that darn missile turret up there. I believe I believe Dark did go ahead and throw down a scan there in the main just to see what was going on, and he did spot that Dark Shrine being built. So he had a good heads up there on that. When and Lauber really had a great advantage there for quite a while, because if that army had decided to push, that Dark Shrine was going to finish almost instantaneously with the arrival of that army. So he would have been able to completely hack up that army, and Dark had already spent all of his energy on mules, so he had nothing backed up to scan with.
Yep, so, I mean, again, very passive play out of both players. And again, okay, now we see more of the Dark that we know, loading up 2 medevacs. It looks like he's going to split them up. Sending one down to the right and one down to the left, going to take the long scenic route along. But Lauber, yeah, I think he's made a bit of a mistake wasting the time and the money trying to get up that Dark Shrine. I mean, against the Terran that is already up on 2 bases, chances are no matter when you engage, he's going to have at least 1 scan to spend. So either way, I mean, he's doing a pretty good job. His scouting has not been superb. He's just finished that Templar archive, so going to be adding Templar tech to his repertoire at the moment, and now getting a couple of cannons over at his third, I'm going to guess. Yeah, 2 cannons here, and a Warp Prism. So Lauber putting together a bit of a kitchen sink build here, where he just wants to get up on every tech tree he can, except for what's expected. The expected tech tree, of course, would be Colossus tech, and he's nowhere near it at the moment. Has not even started the support bay.
Oh, yeah, now we see that drops coming in on the right. I was just told that Lauber is actually a 6th Masters right now.
Oh, wow, very nice.
So thank you very much, Midnight, for that information there. But yeah, that drop is coming in on the right. The one on the left just kind of hit the left-hand side and just stopped. But luckily there is a probe down there by Lauber, so he's going to be able to spot that when it does move. And this is something that Dark does a lot. He will send out those units and just let them go and then forget about them for a while. So now Lauber is fully aware that it's there, and he has a whole army just waiting.
This is trouble, though. With SKS Dark, he's got that dropship on the left side, just letting it kind of hang out at the moment. Lauber's trying to be cute and hide an expansion over on this bottom left corner. So Dark taking his third, but Lauber trying to sneak in a fourth, and chances are if Dark... and now here he comes with the dropship. What drop path is he going to take? Oh, no, he's cutting through the center of the map, so he's not going to spot this. Dark's got his army out on the center of the map, so yeah, that expansion by Lauber is going to remain unspotted. A couple of ghosts have been added to the mix now for Dark, so he's going to be in a position. Here we go, Dark emulating his mentor, GG Last Shadow, expanding once again, going to be up on 4 bases very, very soon.
Oh yeah, and I don't know if you spotted it, AC, but there's a Warp Prism now going up, getting ready to spot that where that expansion point is, along with that where that Warp that pylon is. So he's starting to move in to a location where he can start warping units in behind Dark as well for a drop.
Oh yeah, I see that up at the top left, but right now trying to keep an eye on the 2 dropships, one right near the natural and one right near the back of the main. Couple of cannons now finishing in the back of the main, so any drop play there by Dark is going to be punished pretty hard. But looks like, I do not think the Warp Prism spotted that, and another command center going down now for SKS Dark. We see that at the natural of the top left spawn position, and yeah, this Warp Prism almost certainly going to spot this here. Yeah, and a Dark Templar warped in immediately. This is going to be a planetary fortress, so he's not going to be able to just warp in Zealots and go to town. But without any sort of a detection here, no cannon or anything like that, this Dark Templar is going to be able to do some damage in the mineral line and probably pick off a high number of SCVs. The Dark still being very complacent with those 2 dropships, has yet to do anything with them. The bottom left expansion of Lauber has finished. Both players very close in supply now. And now the Warp Prism opens up right behind this gigantic supply depot field here by Dark. Absolutely no turrets here to try and deal with this. So if he wants to warp in DTs, yes, he's going with 3 DTs and 2 Zealots. Here he goes, moving in right now. They're going to be a massive damage. The army of Dark pulling back from the center of the map to try and deal with this. But 3 DTs just going to be able to do so much damage damage to these SCVs. The Zealots going to work on the supply depots as well. So Dark caught way out of position. The supply of Dark just plummeting at this point. Looks like he's saying to hell with it. He's going to push, and here he goes, moving it up the ramp into the natural. And but the army of Lauber is ready now. That's such a high Zealot count. Going to rush in and get a gigantic surround. There's the belated stem and a scan there from Dark just in case there were a couple of DTs. Very good feedbacks there, taking out the medevacs, and Dark is in a ton of trouble here, Red Mage.
Oh, absolutely. Lauber's Zealots are just going absolutely, bananas back there, eliminating all those supply depots. There was I think it was a misclick on some of those ghosts. I think he was trying to get the MPs off, which is why he moved them forward, but he never got them off. So, that was really, really dangerous at that point. And that Warp Prism really should just move over there and try to warp a couple more units in there.
Is way on tilt, a way early scan there before his army even arrived. He's supply blocked at 92 out of 71 supply. This is it. Dark may as well just GG at this point. No way he's going to come back against this at this moment. Lauber playing so tight. He's got that hidden bottom left expansion. His probe count, I'm sure, is extremely high. Oh yeah, 41 to 82 harvesters right now for Lauber against Dark. So Dark pretty much done now. Just going to try and, I'm sure, put this army to use before the end of the game. But the GG, basically, if he did it right now, he would be plenty justified in doing so.
Oh yeah, because now Lauber's just going to go. You're just going to keep creeping up there. Dark had to pull a ton of SCVs off the natural line just to go up there and heal that orbital command. And then we see that push now at the planetary fortress.
Immediately targeted down by these well-upgraded Zealots at 2-3, and this is I gotta say, this is how Dark screwed the pooch. Just want to, I'm not even sure what he ended up doing with those drop ships. Did he ever use them? Yeah, it looks like there's one just hanging out literally above the mineral line. He had the drops ready to go, but he just let Lauber sit back and do what he pleased. And, whenever you let a Protoss opponent go up to 3-2 upgrades, especially with speed lots against a largely Marauder army, you're going to get slaughtered. I mean, there's no doubt about it. You're going to have zero chance as you move into the late game. So we're coming up on the 21-minute mark now. Colossi have been added onto the mix of Lauber now. The extended thermal lance is done. Yeah, Dark is done. I mean, just simply having to replace all of this supply depot set him back so far. And Lauber, though, I got to say, is being a little bit nonchalant about closing this game out. He's dancing around all over the map. He's got units split up, checking all the expansions, but he needs to just put together a push and go in for the kill now instead of trying to romance it a little bit too much.
Oh yeah, no, he did use that warp prism again to take out that left-hand expansion that Dark had. He just warped in those Zealots that you see streaming along the left side right now, trying to prevent Dark from putting any sort of sneakiness around anywhere, and he's building more and more gateways now at that bottom left expansion. So this is going to get real interesting real fast, and 5 more ghosts being made right now for Dark. I guess he knows that the end is nigh, and he just wants to be able to just throw down as many EMPs and try to resuscitate himself.
He's barely
out of
mining at this point. I mean, that's the thing is, I understand wanting to, like you said, knowing the end is nigh, wanting to try and stay alive, but he's almost mined out at his main. He's almost mined out at his natural. If it weren't, he would without a doubt be mined out at both if it weren't.
Oh, good storms right there, by Lauber.
All those SCVs. Did you see that? Holy crap.
Yeah.
That was all those SCVs trying to transfer out and go. I have no clue where. Maybe trying to free up supply, maybe. I don't know, but...
they were going to that right-hand side, and you see Lauber right now just putting in pylons all around that right-hand side, stealing gas, stealing everything, trying to prevent him from actually using any of that.
That's basically his way of using the /dance command with the probe. He's saying, this game's over, man. You're done. But,
yeah, Lauber being smart, going around the long way there, trying to force instead of being confined to the ramp, they're just going to come right across, and those ghosts get off a good AMP there.
Well, there we go. The Zealot's going to move. Oh, the 6 storm right in the front there. He's actually storming his own Zealots now as we watch this entire... Oh, God, he just stormed and killed about a dozen of his own freaking Zealots. But either way, I don't know that it's going to matter a ton. The damage now just so high on all these Marauders. They just melt beneath the fiery lances now of these Colossi. 26 supply to 146, and there's the GG. So Dark knocked off by Lauber. Lauber, our current prince in waiting as we move into the next round of our IG King of the Hill number 11, brought to you by itsgosu.com.
You're absolutely right about that, AC. Amazing game right there between Lauber and Dark. Now we're just going to get the map choice there. by Lauber, and we're going to move on further into the list there. This is going to be absolutely amazing. Gameplay right here between a lot of these players so far. This is pretty exciting. We had a whole week off, and and yesterday we came back, kind of swinging with that great event last night with the IG Cup, and then again tonight with the Koth, and tomorrow with the Beta. So I'm glad to be back in the rhythm, AC. It's one of those things that when you take a week off, I know. I discussed this yesterday. We discussed it pretty much all week. That my brain was just getting soft. I was just completely just brain dead.
Out of sorts is the way to put it. I just I'd wake up and I'd be like, all right, I'd wake up and try to get all happy and energized with things, and I'd just sit and be like, I guess I'll work on a build or something. It's just it's like it just didn't feel right. It feels so good to be back behind the microphone. By the way, speaking of being behind the mic, the only reason that Red Mage and I love it so much is because we love you guys so much. Thanks so much to everyone hanging out with us in the chat here on Justin TV or Twitch TV or whatever name you happen to type in the URL to reach this point. Let's see, Midnight, SKS Storm, Dark Viets, DK Sud something or other, Templar Rage, Hammy Ham, gotta love that name, SC Tekken, who else in here, Thor Fan, Blurms Boy, etc. So yep, just giving some shout outs to the names I can read in the chat. I guess I could go to the old player list here if I really wanted to. Jack JM, Tobo 826, etc. So
did you just say Jock J-Am as opposed to Jock Jam?
Jock Jum.
Jock Jam. Okay, I thought.
No, Jack JM. Jack JM.
Jack JM. Okay, I thought it was like Jock Jam, and I was like, man,
God, that's a flashback to the '90s, isn't it? Oh wow, friggin' Jock Jams. Hell yeah, man. Anyway, this is all brought to you in part by itsgosu.com and, of course, by our other sponsors. SteelSeries, our new lead sponsor, we just had the pleasure of announcing in this past week, and, of course, all of our other sponsors that help make this possible. Cyberground.us, Max Integration, and Sanya Mabushi Jujutsu and Combination Goju Ryu School of Self-Defense. Check them out at sanyamabushi-goju.com. So, speaking of that last rather mouthfulish a sponsor of ours, Sanya Mabushi. I gotta read it. Sanya Mabushi Jujutsu and Combination Goju Ryu School Self-Defense. They're the guys making it possible to have our little contest tonight. If you're just joining us, the contest is extremely simple. All you have to do is click one button and then send an email. Click follow here on Justin TV. Make sure you're a follower of us here at itsgosu.com. And then send an email to contest@itsgosu.com. All you have to include in that email is your Justin TV nickname or screen name or however you want to say it, whatever you want to refer to it as. And then just a little phrase, something involving magic cards, so we know that's exactly why you're contacting us. We're giving away 2 special edition packs of the Planeswalker series, which are actually doubly special because they were only available at one time in one place. That was the New York Comic Convention in 2010. And tell them a little bit about that, Red Mage.
Well, yeah, these were special edition cards. They are from the Planeswalker series, like AC said. These are super cool because if you look at a normal pack of Magic cards, they say Magic the Gathering on them. They got a little picture and a whole lot of words on the cover. These are just almost one huge picture, and then they of course say Magic the Gathering on them. But it's just a box. There's not. It's just a box. There's not a whole lot of other shenanigans on it. So, and these were actually sold for about $15, but they are great for tournament players. If you have any friends that are big into tournaments and things like that, these particular decks can contain some very, very good tournament cards, and they go on eBay for anywhere between $15 to $120 a piece for these particular cards if you get them in those packs. So they are very, very cool. And unfortunately, I played Magic a long time ago, and I even though I still collect Magic cards because I'm a big art fan, I love to look at art and things like that. So
right.
But these cards are beautifully done. They are very, very cool. And I know a lot of people are like, well, I'm not going to open my pack. I open my pack. I don't keep cards. Right. As a collector.
Well, one of the things that I love about you, Red Mage, whenever I have a chance to come visit you. We do live a little bit far apart, but I get to see you guys, you and Mr. Mini Me and SKS Dark and all the whole IG crew, probably once or twice a month at the very least because of our live events that we do in the Northern Virginia area. But one of the things I love is checking out all your collection of stuff, and it makes me so happy. This is going to make a lot of collectors cringe, but everything that you buy, be it a toy, be it art or whatever, it's used. Like, you open your Magic cards, all of your toy collectibles, the boxes have been meticulously and very carefully, mind you, but they have been opened. You can tell, you know, whenever you get I can remember when we went to ShivaCon, you got that very cool Doctor Who a magnetic rotating foam booth or whatever the hell it was.
It's the TARDIS.
Yes.
TARDIS. And points right now for anybody who can tell me in the chat what TARDIS means. Whoever the first one is.
All right,
Come on.
Yeah, IG points. It's like Reddit karma. I'm sure you'll be able to use that for something at some point.
That's right.
Anyway, how about we talk about StarCraft for a minute? A ZVZ Narwhal taking on Lauber, and it looks like Lauber opted to change his race. He hasn't complained a bit. He was a Protoss last time. I didn't even notice, since you're usually the one who starts the games and you just pull me in. Does Lauber roll random, or was this a conscious choice to change the Zerg?
He actually rolled random for this particular map. He said that he is more comfortable rolling random on a large map like this. So he just wanted to go ahead and roll random. I guess he has confidence, which decidedly so, on his Protoss.
Right.
And it looks like he just wants to. He's happy with the Zerg, because
I'd say,
so far monitoring the chat, he's doing great.
Well, I'd say the reason that. I can understand the thinking. On a larger map, he wants to eke out a little bit of an advantage against his opponent. If he rolls random on a large map, the chances of his opponent being able to spot his spawn and his race before his opponent kind of has to commit to at least a certain type of build, you know, be it a fast expander or fast cheese or what have you, the chances of his opponent spawning what race he selected before committing to that line, to one line or another of a build, is really small. So we're seeing some Zergling aggression out of both players. Lauber with many more Zerglings out on the map. He's already got his hatchery up. And Narwhal, by the way, a guy we know very well. I'm just going to take a stab in the dark. I've never confirmed this. He's got to be a Redditor. If you have a name like Narwhal, you're a Redditor, okay? That's just how it works. But
now how can you notify him as a Redditor with the name of Narwhal?
I'll explain it in just
I'm not a Redditor. So.
In just a moment. Hang on, we're going to get a little bit of Zergling aggression here. The Queen's going to be in perfect position to deal with this, so Narwhal going to be plenty safe. And Narwhal, you know, right now he's got the Evo chamber up, which is a little bizarre to me. I understand wanting to get the upgrade, but to get the Evo chamber up prior to the 5-minute mark, I mean, we see the +1 to ground melee is already halfway done, so he's opted for that very early. Oh, Narwhal's going to make it in. No, he's not. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. I hate whenever you see like a purple versus a pink Zerg. Sometimes it's in the heat of the moment. It's so easy to get the colors confused, but those were Narwhal Zerglings. Lauber, though, he's gone for the hatch pretty quickly. He's got the Queen down in position, and now 2 Spine Crawlers on the way as well. But yeah, Narwhals are, let's just say it's kind of one of the, you know, every message board or forum kind of has an inside joke. Reddit being the size that it is, you know, hundreds of thousands of registered users, a billion plus page hits a month. There are a ton of them, and one of them is that Redditors just love friggin' Narwhals because they're basically dolphins with a gigantic unicorn spike in their head. But anyway, in runs Narwhal. The speed finishes just as he arrives at the base of Lauber, so he's going to have a great chance to get in. He's going to catch these roaches just as they hatch. The drone's being pulled now, and Lauber in a ton of trouble. That choice to roll random, possibly backfiring it on him. Looks like Narwhal, being a primary Zerg player, is a bit more experienced, now going to work immediately on the production buildings. Well, not the production buildings, but the tech buildings of the Roach Warren and the spawning pool. The spawning pool is going to be dead very soon. There it goes. The Roach Warren, yeah, it's going to be target fired down as well. That's going to be GG. Lauber not going to, you know, he's going to have another round of reinforcements, 3 roaches, but that's not going to be enough. Even if he does beat this attack back, the fact that he can literally create nothing at the moment, no offensive units outside of Queens and drones. Actually, he can't even make Queens without the spawning pool, so he's got a handful of roaches to try and deal with something, but he's going to be so far behind that Narwhal's going to be free to do whatever the hell he likes for the next 5 or 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah, you know, and he didn't even pull back that far. He just pulled out back just enough to heal up some of those Zergling, probably wait for a nice little refresh. And really, smart move there on Narwhal's part. He just went ahead and used that aggression and just threw down his base. So that could have been an easy, you know, I'm just going to go in, create a whole bunch of damage, get up 2 or 3 expansions, and then come in and mush you a little later on. We do see that a lot of times out of quite a number of players. But, you know, Lauber right now trying to get back up and running, you know, trying to drone up some more, trying to get that spawning pool down. I don't like where he put a spawning pool down there in the natural as opposed to back in the main. And in goes those Narwhal's Zerglings again taking out a ton of those drones again back that had just transferred there to the main.
Oh, wow.
And those roaches were having to come back in.
Takes
and
down
in.
every one of the drones. Lauber pretty much at half the supply of his opponent. And again, this is, given these are competitors, they're not guys that are going to want to give up immediately. I can understand him wanting to try and extend this and see if he can find a way to claw himself back into things, but don't think anyone would fault him for GGing. And right now, I guess this is about the only choice he has. He knows he's at an unbelievable disadvantage, so he's just got to roll the dice and say, screw it, I'm going to get a third hatch and hope that it doesn't get spotted. Hope to goodness that the Zerglings don't run by and spot this, so I can try and get an edge, even if it's just economically, while I fight to hold off your army. But this is the problem. Narwhal free to just add on units. Narwhal could literally double expand right now, and there would be zero that Lauber could do about it. So. Lauber just at a very, very sharp disadvantage. Going to hang in a little bit longer, but this game is just about over here, Red Mage.
Oh yeah, because that economic boost, not really boost, but the economic continuance that Narwhal has is just going to continue to build and build and build. And Lauber really, he did the smart thing. He just went ahead and expanded to the third so he could drone up and still create more defensive units if he needed to. But I think he's going to rely a little too heavily on these 5 spine crawlers and all these roaches here.
All right, so a couple of Zerglings being sacked to run in here to try and get a look at how sharp the defense is of Lauber. And really, this has basically become the new main. I mean, the main of his original main, pretty hollowed out, just now getting up that second second extractor, the second gas. The third hatch has finished now, so Lauber, I guess, if he's left alone long enough, he has a chance to maybe try and pull things a little bit closer to even. But yeah, the roach count now going to begin the long walk all the way across the map here. Terminus RE, a large map and in cross spawn positions, but the roach is on the way. The +1 to missile defense did finish, so these are upgraded roaches. You see, yeah, the +1 to the acidic saliva. The Zergling count pretty low, but being bolstered now. And now a Hydralisk den out of Narwhal as well. Just in such, literally. I don't know that I've ever played a game where I felt as safe as Narwhal has to feel right now.
Oh yeah, he's got to feel extremely safe. I mean, not just the fact that you're doubling his food, but you're able just to kind of sit back, kind of hang out, and have a couple of margaritas at this point. Because
here we go. Zergling's going to rush in, going to try and do a little bit of damage, maybe get the run by, get a good look, and actually just going to run all the way through and up into the main once again. There's pretty much just a handful of drones now on this Queen. The Queen going to fall without a doubt. The Roach is chasing the Zerglings back. But I think this is more of just a scouting run through here to make way or at least get a good gauge of what this Roach force is going to be up against. He's up to 18 Roaches now and just a small little pair of Zerglings. But that third hatch down now for Narwhal, so any kind of advantage this third hatch could have granted Lauber if left alone long enough is not really going to come to fruition. And, yeah, I mean, like I said, at this point, there's really not a whole... There's only so many ways I can say Lauber's kind of screwed, and that's kind of the situation at the moment.
Yeah. Sadly enough, as much as we hate to be the doomsdayers here, but Narwhal pulling back. But yeah, Lauber is really a lot farther behind than he suspects. And honestly, I'm kudos for him to be holding on this long, because that was rough for quite a while there. But I really hope that coming up here, he's going to be able to pull out and do something, here pretty creative. He seems to be, not over excessively droning, which is something that you see a lot of panic people doing now, is that they'd make a gazillion drones, or they'd make a gazillion Zerglings and then remain in that deep economic deficit right there. So, it's good to see that he's not completely over droning himself. He's keeping it right kind of where he needs to. Mostly out of the fact that he doesn't have any money for him. But whenever his money does jump up, he's not making a lot of offensive, defensive units. He's kind of playing it smart, making in the Overlords when he needs to. He just moved in an Overseer. Now he's getting Infestors. Great job there.
Yeah, the Infestor plays about the best. Really, that's probably his best chance at the moment, is just to hope to goodness that his opponent goes for a mass army like he kind of is doing right now. Roaches and Hydras that he can somehow control with Infestors. The Pathogen Glands about 3/4 of the way done. 5 Infestors on the way, about 3/4 of the way done as well. But again, there's only so much of a difference good Infestor use can make, and yeah, he's going to be relying almost entirely on Infestors. If nothing else, this shows that Lauber is definitely a Masters League player. He knows that he's going to be facing a much larger army, and he's just going to have to rely on good control and some AoE damage to try and control this and stay alive until he can maybe find a way to pull back to even. Narwhal has gone up to Ventral Sacs and now the pneumatized Carapace. so he's going to be going for drop play. That's exactly why he's hanging back. He doesn't want to engage at the front of this natural, and that's just great. Great sense there. He knows Lauber was forced to over spine crawler the front of this natural to try and stay alive, so he's just going to load up and drop and begin to eat the bases inside out.
Yep, and that's probably the best thing to do right there. And kudos to Day 8 for getting what TARDIS means. Even with the help of Google, I'll still give him credit for it. TARDIS, of course, meaning time in relative dimensions and space, being the great transport for Doctor Who.
Very nice. So out of curiosity, Day 8, why did you not go with like Day K? Since you're going to be cute and move things, one way or the other. But yeah, there's probably like one person in the chat who gets that. But that one person's all that matters, because all I need is to know someone doesn't think I'm an idiot. But anyway, the Infestor's done
we
now.
We love you, you see.
Hey, if you don't get that joke, it's not my problem, man. I just think on a different level, all right? I'll be like 99% of internet forum users. I'll claim I have Asperger's syndrome, and that gives me an excuse to suck at everything. But but anyway, Narwhal
took expansion, yeah.
Yeah, Narwhal up to still a pretty high roach count. It looks like he's loaded up the Hydras into these Overlords. Let's take a look. Yeah, he's got 8 Hydras on the way in for a drop. Now he's going to move out with this rather large-ish roach ball. He's right at the cap already. He's taking that 4th expansion, moving on down the wheel here, going clockwise into the 3rd of the third natural, I guess you could say, or second natural even, of the 6 o'clock spawn position. So, yeah, believe this is finally going to be drawing to an end. And I can't help but get the feeling watching this play out, I don't know that either of these players understands just how far ahead Narwhal is. It just, you see the way, Narwhal playing safe, fine, Lauber doing his best to be a competitor and not just GG whenever he goes down. But I really don't think either of them have a clue how far behind Lauber happens to be.
Oh, absolutely not. We see the double drop coming in, one in the main, one coming up to that 3rd at the bottom, and down go the Hydralisk.
There's the fungal growth now, so and some infested Terrans to try and deal with this. Couple, not sure why he did that instead of the, I guess just the energy concerns. But yeah, now the Hydras are just going to move along. We see the infested Terrans just basically hanging out at the moment. The Roaches beginning to bait in and out here at the front. But just look at this infestor count. Sweet Jesus, that's what, 20 infestors now for Lauber. So yeah, I mean, Lauber understands the matchup if nothing else. He's not a noob. He knows, hey, you're going to have a crap ton more of an army than I am, so I'm just going to rely on fungal growth and AoE and infested Terrans to be my army. So that's actually going to be enough to handle the Hydras in his main now, but the Roach is beginning to look at the fungal growth going on all around the front. So much damage being done. Are you kidding me? Lauber is going to hold on. Without a doubt, he's going to hold on here. The entire army of Narwhal just evaporating at the front of this natural. Infested Terrans popping out, just, I don't know, celebratory infested Terrans, but more and more Roaches making their way across the map. Now, these are upgraded Roaches. We see the +2 to missile attacks going down. Narwhal, I think, a bit on tilt, engaging just with a handful of them. He's got to be feeling frustrated. Even if he didn't know how far ahead he was, he had to know he was miles ahead. But now he's facing a friggin' sea of infestors. Just look at this. Still 19 infestors left. Now the Roach is going to move back in to try to engage. Here come the infestors. More fungal growth, at least on half of these Roaches. And that fungal growth so violent against armored units. The Roach is taking the brunt of this, just really just being abused by the infestor tech. And 1 billion infested Terrans going down now. See, as they hatch, yeah, it looks like, well, okay, actually they're just dying very quickly, so... it's still a good number have been thrown out, to say the least, but Lauber continuing to hold on, and the supply gap is starting to kind of close a little bit. Narwhal has the increased production capabilities. He's going to sack this expansion hatch, it looks like, and the infestors only have so much energy inside of them after throwing out all the infested Terrans. So, as valiant an effort as Lauber's put up here, I think we're drawing towards the end of this rather entertaining ZVZ.
Oh, yeah, there's probably not too much left. Narwhal, of course, with the burrow, is able to come in underneath everything and just pop right back up in the middle. And
more fungal growth. Just, it does so much damage to Roaches. And, that maybe this is the beginning of a new Zerg strat. Screw it, I'm not making anything but infestors. That's it. 3 base infestor. It's like, oh, you infestor support? No, infestor. That's it, period. So, But yeah, the
We
roaches.
an infestor baneling army, I think, would be just hilarious to just start launching.
Infestor baneling. Oh, how much gas, man! You'd have to have like 9 extractors to support that. But anyway,
Just long mine gas. That's
yeah,
it. You
long.
don't even-
Like, yeah, don't even build other hatcheries. One base with long mining gas the whole game. But the roach count very, very high now. Narwhal creeping back up towards the top here, but we do see. Oh, look at this! Oh, wow! 19 infestors burrowed and moving through the center of the map, and this makes me think of Tremors, man. You know, all the torn up ground soil here, moving up, and now is he going to move back around? And I think it's just like, you know what? Screw it. I'll probably never have another chance to make 19 infestors, and it actually be me trying to do it as a proper response to someone. So I'm going to make use of this and stretch this out and enjoy the fact that I have 19. There he goes with the infested Terrans. Let's see how many. That's 16 infested Terrans, 17 infested Terrans, all of them coming out and going to work now on the hatchery. He's probably going to do a good amount of damage to the drones here. Going to be too little, too late, obviously, though. Lobber has no base left whatsoever. The roach count for Narwhal still quite high. He's got them broken up into 2 patches. So looking at probably a roach count of closer to 40 or 50 at the moment. The infested Terrans, though, going to work. He takes down the roach warren of Narwhal, and now he's going to get the spawning pool and most likely the hive, unless these roaches make it back in time. So the hive at half-life now, down to a quarter of its life. The hive is going to fall here. No, it's not. The Terrans off themselves a little bit preemptively, unable to finish the job. But more infested Terrans here down at the natural, going to be cleaned up very easily by these roaches. So valiant effort by Lobber, doing what he can, making things entertaining for us. The burrowed infestors still skirting around the map, and Lobber stretching things out. But you know what? I kind of don't mind, just because I love seeing this many infestors for any reason.
Yeah, this is just absolutely ridiculous, the amount of infestors. I mean, why do we always get to see the coolest things in, like, the King of the Hills?
Because it's us, man. Because it's us.
I'll tell you what, because everything's on the line. You only got one shot to make it happen. You might as well do something cool and outrageous to try to find it. Yeah, Lobber's looking for places. He did go ahead and drop two hatches right there to make sure that if it was a base trade situation, that he was going to have something up and about. But yeah, he's pretty much wiped out everywhere.
Well, Narwhal moving out with this gigantic roach count, trying to find whatever buildings Lobber has left. Lobber, in the meantime, is doing the exact same thing. Narwhal, get out! Get out of my game! But, and it's got to be frustrating for Narwhal right now. He basically ended this game at about the 7-minute mark, if even that, even probably earlier than that. And now, I can't help but picture all these little infestors just burrowing underneath with troll faces on, you know. But,
I'm gonna make it. It's you know, I'm just waiting for Colonel Klink to be like, oh God, that's just, you know, what these kind of shenanigans that he's just pulling out here, just unbelievable. And you know, of course, going back to your Tremors reference, that was a good reference right there.
Oh yeah.
You know, and you know, great Kevin Bacon movie.
Oh yeah, dude.
Of course, in every Kevin Bacon movie. Kevin movie.
Oh yeah, and look at Narwhal now building the basically, you can't call him BM, but the frustration hatchery. He's just saying, screw it, man. Okay, now we see he's found this third hatch. Yeah, so what does Lobber have left? He's got to have something hanging out somewhere. Has he got like an extractor?
He's got. I thought he had an extractor. Oh no, he's got a macro hatch.
Oh,
there,
he left the extractor actually at the third too. And now, yeah, I'm seeing the hatch up here, just hiding it, he's being such a troll at the moment. I lost track of his infestors. Where are all of his infestors? They get spot. There they are.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, I see a line moving.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of tough when it's pink versus purple in Zerg, but yeah. And look at him. Seriously, these are the biggest troll infestors of all friggin' time. Just moving along, basically just trying to be as annoying as hell. What's he gonna do? Is he gonna throw out the infested Terrans?
He's gonna throw more infested.
I think he's just hiding. I think that's what he's doing. He's just gonna hide and be an asshole and force his opponent to get detection. So yeah, no, there he goes, throwing out the infested Terrans. He's like, so. For those who don't know, by the way, I don't know if anyone mentioned it, but whenever I said the infested Terrans off themselves, come on, Broodlings, leave them alone. I want you to see the death animation of the infested Terrans when they run out of time. They actually do off themselves. I'm zoomed in here. You're going to get a good look when they run out of time, which is going to be forthwith. But watch, here we go. See, put it in their mouth and pull it. Narwhal. I got a feeling that that infested Terran offing themselves animation is kind of where Narwhal is as well. Feels like putting the gun in his mouth and pulling the trigger, just trying to. But look at this: the creep of Narwhal and the creep of Lobber have joined here at this hatch that Lobber's built to try and stay alive. So there's no way Narwhal can't see this. He's got to. Oops, wrong thing. Narwhal. There we go. Yeah, Narwhal knows this hatch is here. He just hasn't done anything about it. And this extractor still continues to live as well. So that's kind of on Narwhal. Narwhal's got to be a little bit more active. I mean, you know, if he wants to close this game out, he needs to finish things out forthwith. But okay, now I lost track of the infestors again. Where the hell did they go?
They are down at the bottom right. Or the bottom, right about the 6 o'clock. There's one patch.
Oh, I see the Terrans. Oh, there they go.
Yeah, and the second patch is up, they were up here on the left, it looked like.
Troll infestors moving about. Just trying to be annoying. He's going to unburrow them. Oh, he's fungal gross the drones!
Oh, no, the top patch of infestors gets seed and they're dead. Oh, he's only got that one small stack at the bottom to deal with. So.
Well, this should be over. Lobber's hatch. I mean, I just checked Narwhal's. I guess Narwhal's so on tilt, he's not even looking at his mini-map. I mean, I'm looking at his vision right now. He knows this hatch is here. There we go. Now it looks like he's going to move in and deal with this. And he also has vision of this extractor, too. So he knows where the buildings are. He just needs to go close things out. And, yeah, like I said, I don't care to say it. Lobber's being a troll, but I kind of don't mind. But just because this is fun. It's like usually, like, if it was a Terran floating up a barracks into the corner of the map or something, that'd be annoying because there's no fun in that. But watching a big line of infestors troll around the map and just kill everything they possibly can, that's entertaining. I don't give a damn. But
I think the last stack is about ready to get finished here momentarily here on the bottom side. Oh no, where'd the Overseer go? Yeah, I thought he had one. You know, a smart thing for Narwhal to really have done would have been to completely span out all of his overlords, spawn them all into Overseers, and then just wait for them to pop up. It's like Jaws. He's gonna have to resurface.
Like Jaws. That's a great comment. It's like Jaws. How often do you get to say that in reference to StarCraft? And it's actually accurate.
That's right. I think we're gonna need bigger creep.
Yes. All right, this extractor, all that's left now for Lobber, and again, I know for a fact that Narwhal has vision of it. So all he has to do is move in and kill this extractor, and the game ends. I mean, there's no doubt about it. So I want to see the Lobber cam. What's Lobber doing at the moment?
Probably watching those infestors there just kind of move around the
no,
right.
He's actually got. It looks like okay. I guess he just clicked over there on the minimap. I was going to say it looked like he had this extractor hotkey just to try and keep an eye on it, but yeah, now he's throwing out more and more of these, more and more of the infested Terrans just to be an asshole. And yes, finally the roaches are on their way to handle this extractor. So this is going to be GG. No, I'm sure there's not going to be a GG. What are you doing, Narwhal? Go kill the extractor, man!
Go kill the extractor. I think he's trying to kill the units to force the GG. But you know, it's funny because all you really have to do is monitor where the Terrans are attacking, and around that, you know, then you set up your, you know, what was it? Tommy Lee Jones said in The Fugitive. I want to check every outhouse, in-house,
hen-house, yeah, hen-house, dog-house, and something, yeah, whatever.
You know, that's exactly what you got to do. You got to set up a perimeter and go in, and you know, now it looks like the final amount of infestors that he has are going to get seen here because the only way to go is going to be down the ramp and right into the
has
jaws.
moved all of his overlords over top of the extractor so he could try and hide it. You see this?
This is the best BM ever. Oh, now he splits up. Now he completely like split up all those infestors to try to get by. This is going to be so great.
Oh,
Narwhal,
God.
I guarantee you Narwhal is going to need a new keyboard by the end of this whole thing because if I was him, I would just Lou Ferrigno out right now.
Oh,
and just hold
God.
the crap out of everything.
Oh, God. This is so... It's adorable's the word.
Where are you going? No, go back! Oh my goodness, that was a great feint by Lobber. He kind of made it look like he was moving. Narwhal. You know,
where are they? I
can't
can't find them.
Come out.
Where the there they are. Oh, there we go. There's two of them. them just sneaking
Yeah,
out.
they're literally all split up, and that army, he saw him just.
Oh
long enough to
no,
get
he
out there.
popped them up. The broodlings got to look at him. Now they're waddling their asses across the map. So one
Now he
burrows.
split them again.
Is he gonna get it? Is he gonna? Yeah. There's one less infester on the map. Oh, let's check the army count. Oh, nope, wrong one. Nope, units is what I want. There we go. He's still got 5 infestors on the map. I still think it's the most adorable thing in the world that he's trying to hide this extractor underneath the overlords. Oh, God. And I don't know how Narwhal's not seen this. And Narwhal's got to be racking his brain, but... I mean, he's got to suspect something. I mean, again, if we go to Narwhal's vision, we just see this gigantic glob of purple here. How does he not suspect that there's something going on here?
Yeah, I really would have put down a Hydralisk or, put down a Spire or something, or a Hydralisk Den or a Spire, just so you could get some sort of air and just start cleaning up all of his overlords. That would stop him pretty quick. You'd be able to kind of see. He wouldn't have any more vision on the field of that, so he wouldn't know where you're going.
Are you trying to tilt me or something? I know Narwhal. He's played in a lot of our King of the Hills. Narwhal, he tilts, okay? He just does. It's one of the things I love watching. And a part of what makes this so funny, I think, at least for me, is the fact that Narwhal, he gets pretty angry. And I can just imagine, like you said, we know him well enough to know he's probably... Oh, he catches another infester, so down the infester count now. Down to 4 for Lobber. Lobber's thrown up 22 infested Terrans somewhere. Oh, he's killing the hatch right next to his extractor. So he's trying to keep it hidden. But little does he know, Narwhal has seen this. It was on his mini-map. It's just now hidden underneath this blanket of overlords. So, the Roach is continuing to be active. I mean, come on, Narwhal, buddy. You got to know, man. You're pretty much everywhere on the map. I mean, he hasn't really built anything in a long time. He's been at 119 supply forever. So, just build hatches everywhere if you have to. But, I mean, you just lost this. You've got to walk down here, man. Come on, see the extractor.
Yeah, I mean, even if you go to where the largest, you see a massive clump of his overlords. They're there for a reason. They're not out of the way. They're on top of something.
Right. Well, they move. They move. They were up here at the top. They were all they were clumped there or somewhere here. I can't remember where it was. But yeah, you just saw this gigantic fleet of overlords ever so slowly creep their way over top of this to try and hide it. So.
He's getting more. He's putting down the Roach tech again, but he really needs to just get a layer, spawn a bunch of Overseers, and then just make 3 gajillion Overseers and just put them in just one long path. You'll see them all pretty quickly. Even if you don't want to take out the friggin' gas, put them in gas.
Exactly. Put them in gas.
Put them in gas.
But
you're gonna see it at some point.
But yeah, I mean, we're kind of reaching the point now, Red Mage, I gotta say, that we may have to call this GG because this is delaying the rest of the players. It's funny, but now, it was funny for a while, but now that it's down to pretty much nothing, I mean, it was kind of cute when it was 11 infestors. Now we're down to the 2 infestors. I think it's about time that we call this game GG and move things along.
Oh, yeah, especially at the I just noticed that we're at the 41-minute mark. I still thought we were floating around the 30 minutes, because it was, for 30 minutes it's funny. For 40-something minutes, it kind of loses its flavor, so...
Oh, no, never mind. I'm going to give... Narwhal finally found it, so I'm glad I didn't... I'm glad I didn't send that out. I'm glad Narwhal got the victory there, but all right, guys. So, yeah, it was funny, it was cute, but Narwhal's now going to have to come off a tilt and try and find a way to jump back into things, as he's our current king-in-waiting, prince-in-waiting, I should say. You're in our IG King of the Hill number 11, brought to you by itsgosu.com.
You're absolutely right about that, AC. More action coming up now. We're going to see who's the lucky Unsoul that gets to take on Narwhal after this. It looks like it's going to be Tekken. Wow, Tekken's going to be up on deck now. And then after that, we're going to go to Maf Inferno. So we'll see how this is going to play out. I really kind of feel sorry about that, because I have to talk and type at the same time because I'm a horrible typist.
Oh, it's okay, brother. Well, we're going to get you enrolled in a typing class at some point. Anyway. Thanks so much, guys, for hanging out with us, no matter how you got here, be it through Reddit, be it through Team Liquid, through wellplayed.org, all good friends of ours. It's a pleasure to have you here. I'm EC, that's Red Mage JR, and as mentioned, as you might have suspected, based on the orange text in front of you, this is the IG King of the Hill number 11, brought to you by itsgosu.com, brought to you by our lead sponsor, SteelSeries. We've just had the pleasure of announcing our sponsorship with this week, and of course by the rest of our sponsors, Cyberground.us, Max Integration, and San Yamabushi Jujutsu and Combination Goju Ryu School of Self-Defense. You can find them at sanyamabushi-goju.com. So speaking of the San Yamabushi Jujutsu and Combination Goju Ryu School of Self-Defense, it's because of them that we are having a giveaway for the viewers of our stream this evening. All you have to do is two simple things. Got to be a follower of us, so click follow there on Justin TV if you haven't already. I mean, why would you not want to do that? We're ballers. I mean, why would you not want to be a part of the IG family? And then send an email to contest@itsgosu.com. And in that email, just include your Justin TV nickname so we can confirm that you are a follower, and say something along the lines of, give me the magic cards. Now, well, you're saying, why would I say give me the magic cards? Because that's what we're giving away. We're giving away 2 packs of very special edition Planeswalker Magic the Gathering cards this evening. And not only, the Planeswalker cards are pretty awesome in their own right. They wholesale for about $15-20 a pop per pack. But these are actually a little bit more special, given that they were only available, the packs in particular that we're giving away this evening, were only available at one time in one place. That was the New York Comic Convention that took place in 2010. And we got our hands on these very rare, hard-to-find promotional packs. And that's what we're wanting to give away. So the packs, again, they wholesale for about $15-20 a pop. So even if you're not into Magic the Gathering, you can still just look at it as basically getting sent like a I said this twice in a row. It's like you're getting sent a $15 bill. Yeah, that's awesome. But, you're getting sent basically an Andrew Jackson or 3 Abe Lincolns to stick in your pocket. Or you could treat it, take the white trash approach to it and treat it like a scratch-off ticket. Or if you open the pack before you resale it, there's a chance you could land one of the big cards inside. There are a handful of them, probably a dozen or so, that are worth more than $50, and at least 1 or 2 that are worth more than $100. So it could end up being not an Andrew Jackson, but being a Benjamin right in your pocket, courtesy of itsgosu.com. So jumping right into things, Narwhal and Tekken, a TVZ, my favorite matchup. And you got to be thinking right now, Narwhal's got to be kind of pissed, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I would think that Narwhal is just going to go absolutely, just hulking out right here. He will not be able to contain the rage inside him, and it will just completely. I want to say he's probably going to Gray Hulk out here at this point. I think he's just going to go completely and absolute balonies all over Tekken. And a TVZ, it being your favorite matchup, literally. Literally, good Lord, I will not learn the English language fast enough for that.
Tekken said, that's what point out Tekken says, where should I float my racks? So, but by the way, for those who are wondering, this is an unfamiliar map to many. This is the Belshire Beach, your favorite map, Red Mage. And we very rarely see it selected. For whatever reason, a lot of the other GSL or GSTL maps caught on pretty easily. This map was introduced in the last GS Team League, or GSL Team League, I should say. And it hasn't really caught on that much in North America. I have not been seeing a lot of players play on it. We've had it in our map pool for our events for a long time. This is probably like the 3rd time in the last 3 weeks of events that we've actually seen someone consciously and willfully select it. So, but, if you're not familiar with this map, you've got to, one thing you got to know is it is kind of favorable to Zerg, especially in a TVZ. It is so hard to wall yourself in. This kind of an awkward choke here. Then as you move out to the expansion itself has, let's see, 2 entrances, without a doubt. One's got the destructible rocks here. And then you've also got this entrance point right around the 3rd as well. So, just not very favorable whatsoever to Terrans in a TVZ matchup. And Narwhal, I think, knowing that, is looking to play on that and hopefully try to steal an easy win here after that rather laborious win he locked down in the last match.
Oh yeah, and great word usage there. Great word of the day usage there, AC. I'm always fathomed by your
fathomed.
Fathom.
Okay, what are you in control now? You're going to show me this the solidarity of my vocabulary. Okay.
Yes. Now we do see a little bit of a bunker trick going down here, but it's quickly thwarted by these drones. They're going to come in and hopefully take it out. But they're trying to get those SCVs killed here pretty quickly. And great reaction time there on Norwal. I think his like the Wolfman, his reflexes are now completely up in the milliseconds of reaction time now because of all the adrenaline for the previous game. So he's definitely ready to go. So for those of you also in the stream, I know a lot of you don't know too much about its Gosu. I'm going to give you the quick 30-second bite about what its Gosu actually is. We're not only a StarCraft site, we also do things for Heroes of Newerth, League of Legends, Super Street Fighter 4, Mortal Kombat, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, all kinds of stuff. But we're also a community site where we basically take Team Liquid or Zeke.com and combine them with Facebook, and that's basically what its Gosu is.
Well, that's what we're trying to go for.
So you can have like I know because after last night I actually got a lot of friend requests there on its Gosu. So I'm sorry if I was a little late in that. So
nobody sent me a friend request.
Oh yeah, so please go to itsgosu.com and send AC and I some friend requests because I only had Mr. Mini-Me and you for quite a while.
Right.
So
well, I'll tell you what. Let's focus on the action right now because there's actually a lot. If we've got a lot of people who are curious about its Gosu, there's a lot to point out. I mean, not only it's I kind of got to admit I cringed when you said, oh yeah, we combine this, that, and the other with Facebook, and Facebook not the thing you want to be describing us as. That's not. But anyway,
a less intrusive Facebook,
right?
I should say, not as leaning toward the social.
Right.
As social,
not going to spam you. You're not going to get spammed for FFS, okay, man? Don't worry about that. But no, it is accurate in its own sense, in the fact that we want to basically have our own community. But the idea is you can build your own community if you want to start a clan or you want to even have a blog, and I'll talk more about that after this match. But the feature of its Gosu.com allow that, and we also have an open event generator. So if you want to hold an event of your own, and much the same as if you wanted to do a Zeke thing or whatever, we do it on Zeke. You can do that too. And the idea is not that we want to necessarily compete with Zeke, because we actually post our events on Zeke as well. We're not big on the screw Zeke, we want to steal their audience. We want to share audiences. We want to expand and kind of not necessarily consolidate, but bring together in a very good way the multiple communities of StarCraft 2, and we want to hopefully be at least a spoke in that, if not the hub. But yeah, we'll talk more about its Gosu.com for those who are curious about who we are and what we do after the match. We see that this command center's up now for Tekken, and this is really where things get complicated for a Terran against a Zerg on Belshir Beach. Trying to secure this, there's just so many points of entry. You have to try and defend all of this area. You have to try to defend this area, and then you have to try and defend this area, which is so very susceptible to drops, and especially this little corner right here. If you sneak an Overlord here, Nidus Canals, networks, I should say, and there are some, and they're probably going to hear me say Nidus Canals. They're going to go, oh, he was a Brood War player. Yes, I was. But I still occasionally have slips. Very rarely do I call Stalkers Dragoons anymore, though. That's a good thing. But, right now with Tekken, he doesn't have the tank tech up now. His factory just now getting completed. There's been some back and forth with Marines and Zerglings so far, but, the Zerg can really just kind of defend this hatch, the second hatch, the way they normally would. Just put Spine Crawlers kind of close to the hatch, use a Queen or two to block the entrance point into the main. But the Terran has to completely change the way that they match up here. So another Marine harass moving out looks like about 10 Marines trying to go to work. Good catch. Good transfusion there on the Spine Crawler. Going to keep that alive. Narwhal with 3 Queens, and is going to be able to defend this quite easily. And I think making the wise decision here, going up the Banelings. And I'm not going to lie, Red Mage, I think part of the reason that in a lot of ways a lot of people don't prefer this map, unless they're Zerg. In fact, now that I think about it, almost every player who selected this map is Zerg in our events. Once you get the Baneling nest up, it is so hard for a Terran to do anything to try and deal with the inevitable aggression out of the Zerg. But if you're going to play against the Zerg on this map, this is the way to do it. You have to be very active with your units from the outset. You have to constantly be doing stuff like walking Marines past the entrance, trying to sneak them in just to keep your opponent off guard. He's going to take the free damage. Is he gonna? Yes, going to get the Overlord, so going to manage to supply block Narwhal at least for the moment. But right now, the tank count really needs to get higher for Tekken. There's no way to defend this expansion without a good number of tanks.
Oh yeah, he's definitely going to need this tank. That siege tech is almost done too, so very good. They're making sure to get that tech up and running, and we see lots of overlords being made right now by Narwhal to make sure that supply blocking business doesn't happen anymore. We also see the speed upgrade coming in there for the banelings, and of course the infestor pit for more infestors. Hopefully, not following in the bane.
Did you see him target fire down the Scorpid there, the Scantipede?
Yes, the Scantipede, just for the S&Gs of it all. And then we see like more barracks coming in for Tekken, so he is definitely looking to be a little bit more aggressive on this map than most people typically are.
With the Baneling nest finished now, 3 Banelings on the way, the Baneling speed upgrade about halfway done now. Yeah, going barracks heavy on this map, not going to be advised in general. Going barracks heavy once your opponent is a Zerg player and has a Baneling nest, yeah, that's kind of asking for an ass kicking. But Narwhal, he's going to be kind of feeling pleased. He's been harassed a little bit, but this has been a much more calm. I don't think he's felt threatened at any point in this game. The Zergling's going to move in, directly target fire down one of the. Okay, that little bit of indecision there cost Narwhal pretty badly. He should have just stuck with this tank. Probably could have taken it down. But, either way, now Tekken going to move in. Now he's going to run into the Banelings. The Baneling speed not yet completed. He's going to rush them directly at the tank, though. Takes out one of the tanks. Now going to chase down the Marines. The speed finishes just in time for him to kill 2 of the Marines. So the Marine and the tank still set up here, but I think as time passes, Narwhal is going to be able to clean this up pretty easily. Narwhal taking his 3rd amidst all this, I should say, over down at the 9 o'clock position as well. So Zerglings continuing to be churned out, chasing down the Marines. Now going to move in and clean up this 2nd tank. And the pressure for Tekken wearing pretty thin at the moment. So Narwhal, I think, is really in a good position here. Now a good fungal growth as well. The Infestor tech up. So the Marine's going to be finished up very cleanly with Narwhal taking next to no real losses.
Oh yeah, and we see more and more Marines being rallied over by Tekken right now, trying to give them not only high ground vision for that tank sieged up on the ramp there, but to also try to keep Narwhal pinned into that base just a little while longer. I don't think he realizes that 3rd base is going down and probably a 4th to follow here shortly.
Right.
And everything on that ramp has just been eaten by the Zerglings right there, completely overloading, and Casper Van Dien is barely surviving long enough. And down he goes.
We lost Dizzy! We lost Dizzy, man!
Dizzy.
But you got to say, if there's any mistake I think Narwhal's making, he's really not abusing the terrain the way he should be as a Zerg player. If he wanted to attack that tank and that Marine ball, he should have come and taken a roundabout path through his natural 3rd, or even gone down this ramp and looped around. But either way, able to clean it up without a whole lot of fanfare. Now over at the gold, making sure the Terran has expanded there. Catches a few Marines moving out, forces the preemptive stem, so no medevacs on the map right now, so each stem going to be very costly for Tekken, at least for the moment. The drone transfer taking place, heading over and getting that 3rd base down at the 9 o'clock position up, and there you go, Red Mage, there's your 4th. Up at the
AC, they would like to know what creep looks like underwater. It actually looks pretty friggin' cool. Underwater creep is probably the coolest thing on this map.
Can you see it? You can see it underneath. It looks kind of weird with the water running over top of it, but yeah, you can see it underneath there. So there's your creep, and there's it expanding across the sand.
Yay, creep! That's exactly why I love this map. Not only is it bright and pretty, but like creep does cool things, and especially when it reaches all the trees and stuff, because of course the trees become infected. And so it just looks cool as it goes throughout the map. So that's one of the main reasons why I love this map. It's very pretty. There's a lot of stuff that goes on, so it just looks cool. So there you go, Master Shake. I'm just looking out for you, buddy.
Not a problem, guys. Anytime you want anything out of us, if we can accommodate, we shall. The command center going down well outside down in the surf here for Tekken. I'm sure that's going to become a planetary fortress. Probably going to try and eliminate this choke point to try and restrict the movement paths for his Zerg opponent. And Narwhal, really, I'm surprised he has not poured it on as much as I think he could have in this matchup. He's allowed Tekken to hang around a little bit longer than I think he should have, and that might end up causing... Oh, no, the Infestor's going to get caught here. Oh, no, never mind. They were just moving in to use fungal growth. I thought that they were caught in a movement path, but nope, he had control. He was ready to do what he needed to do, so pretty good fungal growth there, finishing out a good number of those Marines. Now one burrowed Infestor. Oh, he's going to throw those up right near the tank, force the other tank to shoot, and now the other Infestor's going to easily clean these Marines up. One fungal growth, going to put them in the red. One more fungal growth. Oh, actually, there it is. Tekken just going to call it, saying the GG. So Narwhal takes his 2nd win here at our IG King of the Hill number 11, brought to you by itsgosu.com.
Absolutely right, AC. What a great job there. Narwhal moving on, winning 2 in a row so far. And if he can manage to win 2 more, he'll win himself a 1-game break, as it's written in the rules. If you win more than 4, you get a break on basically what would be your 5th game, and then the next 2 opponents play, and then you play them. So with the amount of field that we have today, he does have the ability to get to that break here pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So thanks, by the way, to each and every one of you hanging out with us here on the stream. I'm Macy, that's Red Mage JR, and this is the IG King of the Hill number 11. Now, during the match, I promised, for those who were curious as to what it is that we at IG do and what itsgosu.com is, just head to itsgosu.com, by the way, and you can get a general idea. But as Red Mage said, we're a website that we're trying to be a website that is literally a tool for players in almost every way. We provide a very integrated, very intuitive event creator. If you want to set up a tournament, all you have to do is sign up for an account. You can create events, and it automatically, you set what time you want check-in to be. It automatically kicks over, and players can check in. Doing that it takes a lot of the guesswork out of running your own events. So if you want to set up even just tournaments like with you and 5 of your friends, you can do that through itsgosu.com. We also do a lot of news updates. I kind of run the day-to-day operations of that quite often, so try to keep up on top of things as best as I possibly can. And as Red Mage mentioned, we're not just a StarCraft 2 website. We're a website that tries to focus on esports as a whole. Now, as a disclaimer, given that, again, I'm the media guy of the operation here. I've got about a decade's worth of experience in media, ranging from print media to radio work. And
as judging by your glorious voice there, AC.
Yeah, thank you so much. You make me blush, my friend. But anyway. Now you've got me off track. Oh, since I'm the media guy in StarCraft 2, and Brood War was my game for the longest time. StarCraft 2 is my game now. Because of that, as we expand the website, and expanding is being made a lot easier, by the way, by picking up SteelSeries as a lead sponsor. So we're very proud about that. Just wanted to give those guys a shout out again. That's going to allow us to do a lot more events. But, as we expand, we're going to be putting an increased focus on other games, like Heroes of Newerth, League of Legends, even the competitive WoW scene. We focus on Rift sometimes. We, just pretty much any game you like, we offer news as much as we possibly can about it. And then on top of that, as Red Mage said, you can sign up and you kind of have your own account. You can create a friends list, and more importantly, for those who are interested and trying to build a name and notoriety here in StarCraft, or any other game for that matter, we make it so you can basically, with one click, you can have your own blog. You can post articles, post updates, whatever the hell you like. So, you can add friends. We have forums and all that fun stuff. So head over to itsgosu.com, check out all the features. And I'm not going to lie, we're still a new community. We don't have the biggest base of users as of right now, but that's exactly why we love to be here with you guys, and hopefully we can convince a few of you to join our glorious little community. And that's enough of the spiel. Now we're into the game. Another ZVZ, going to be MAF Inferno, taking on Narwhal. Narwhal spawning at the top right in his trademark pink, and Inferno, or Inferno, whatever. I like saying Inferno. It makes me feel like it makes me
cool.
Well, it's honestly, that's an old habit. I was an English lit / professional writing and editing major in college, and my advisor was actually the chief of the Western literature department of the English department, and so I spent a lot of time with her. And anytime she would talk about Dante's Inferno, just her speech patterns was always Dante's Inferno. So because of that, after years of hearing the word pronounced that way, I have a habit of saying Inferno myself. But anyway, jumping back in.
Love Dante's Inferno.
Oh yeah,
love that book.
Oh, if you're into poetry at all, and if you're into, if you're even moderately interested in Renaissance history, you've got to love the Inferno.
Oh yeah, you gotta love that. That, and Dr. Faustus and all those great.
Yeah.
When literature was literature, it was fantastic.
Okay, here's a trivia question for you and for our listeners. I'll tell you what, we'll give you some more IG bonus points, not redeemable for anything other than maybe me calling your name out in the stream here. Name the most people know that the Divine Comedy was a 3-part series, and the Inferno was only one book of the complete Divine Comedy by Dante. Name the other 2 books, and I will accept the Italian pronunciation and spelling, or I will accept the English pronunciation and spelling. So, a little bit of a trivia question. I'll let you mull it over while we work through the action. Do you think you know, Red Mage?
From the Paradise Lost series, or from the Dante's Inferno?
No, Paradise Lost was another book by John Milton. But the Divine Comedy, again, the Dante's Inferno was one of 3 books written that composed the Commedia Divina by Dante Alighieri. I can never pronounce his name correctly, but yeah. So what are the names of the other 2 books that comprise the Divine Comedy? And we'll let the viewership mull that over. You think about it as well. We got a little bit of action going down now. Some Zerglings getting active on the map here by MAF Inferno. Narwhal being very, very solid, and this is kind of how he managed to get the win from Lauber just a few games ago. The belated and rather long-winded Infestor Troll win. But, he just kind of played safe and picked his moment, really put together a fantastic timing off of the completion of the Zergling speed. And now as he tacks on more and more Zerglings, I'd say that's exactly what he's doing now. He's actually got the Baneling Nest on the way as well. And right now out of Inferno, we see he's got the Baneling Nest up himself. He's already got that completed, looking to deal with any sort of Zergling pressure. Do we have any clue what level, what league Inferno happens to be?
I do not know, but I'll tell you what, Midnight has been pretty much right on top of that, letting everybody know what everybody's ranks are and things like that. So he's been doing pretty good at that. And Shake Master, or Master Shake, as I want to refer to him, has said Purgatorio Paradiso.
Yep.
And then and he didn't Google that; he knew that. So
no, it's actually the Purgatio and the Paradiso. So yes, that is it. So there you go.
Midnight did guess Paradiso as well. So there you go.
Yep, the Paradiso and the Purgatio. But yep, and so but by the way, you got to hit follow on us now. How often do you get to turn into a StarCraft 2 stream where we make jokes about Doctor Who, and then we follow it up with a discussion as to the Divine Comedy? So, yeah, if nothing else, we offer variety.
Great.
Oh, yes, we offer variety if nothing else. So here we go. Narwhal going to hit his timing. The speed is complete. He's going to try and catch the second hatchery, and he's going to catch it. Inferno forced to pull back. His Zergling numbers just are not high enough. Needs to cancel this. Yes, he does cancel it, so gets the cancel off there, managed to recoup the minerals. But right now, the Baneling's complete, so Narwhal's going to have to be very, very careful. He has not morphed in any Banelings of his own, and I'm sure we're going to see that sometime very soon as he continues to add numbers of Zerglings to his attacking force. Oh yes, he's got 2 Banelings on the way. Oh no, good control there by Narwhal is just flirting with disaster. Right, I honestly almost got a surround on those Banelings. Barely going to make it through. These Banelings complete. Banelings just cancel each other out there, so now Narwhal back at the advantage. Going to be able to chase Inferno all the way back into his main, but he's got another little pack of Zerglings there ready to reinforce. And now the slap fight that's so hard to sort out. Let's see if I could get a click on one of them. Come here, sit still. There we go. There's the Zergling count. Narwhal going to come out way ahead here. We see more Zerglings on the way. 12 on the way for Inferno. 10 on the way for Narwhal. Narwhal's going to have to trek across. Oh, and the Banelings come in just in time to clean up about half of Narwhal's Zergling force. Don't think it matters, though. The drone count down to 0. I'm almost positive. 1 drone survives. I'm not even sure where that drone is.
He's in gas.
Oh, there he is. There he is. So, yeah.
Put him in gas.
Yeah, that's going to be it. Inferno down to 4 supply against the 30 of his opponent. And, yeah, I mean, is he making drones or Zerglings? He's making a drone now, so he's going to try and re-drone up. Narwhal being very... That's going to be the dumbest thing. Oh, God, Inferno. I'm sorry, buddy. I hate to be mean, but, yeah, no, not a good idea to go to work on a Baneling egg like that with your last pack of Zerglings. And that's one of those things where it seems, in the heat of the moment, you're like, all right, get I'm behind. I'm down to 2 supply. 2 supply. It's all right. I can come back. It's 2 supply. Now let me just get his Baneling egg, and as soon as you attack it, you go,
it exploded all over me.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! And Narwhal just comes in with reinforcements. Giggity.
Giggity.
And the dancing there by the Zerglings. He knows he's in there. And,
Thriller night. So, anyway, sorry.
You almost want to pull like the string hanging off the overlords there, like in Flashdance.
Oh God, the string hanging off the overlords. You mean the flyer help?
The flyer, yeah, that's right.
The Baneling Nest goes down. More Zerglings pouring in. All right, Inferno, don't be a tool. I think he's like, you know what? Narwhal chased him. There he goes, doing the dance again. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's
like
good.
Echo the Dolphin. Just move off the left a little bit.
Inferno goes, fine, 2 drones. I'm droning up, bro. Drone timing. How you like this drone timing? All right, Inferno, seriously, give us the GG. Oh, don't be. I understand it's funny to troll Narwhal because we've seen it. There he is. Brohemoth. Brohemoth is, that is now going to be the name of my Smurf account as soon as I purchase it, so I like your pants. Oh, all right, moving on. Narwhal is actually, he's done well. He's 1 win away. The rules of our IG King of the Hill state that if you win 4 in a row, we give you a 1-game break, if you're our prince in waiting. So he's not far away from that at all, but he takes down another win here at our IG King of the Hill number 11, brought to you by itsgosu.com. Red Mage, how many more matches we got?
We actually have a pretty good lineup tonight. We're right now moving into about the halfway point for everything here. So once we get the map update here now, we've got another 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 more matches to go. So we have a very full boat. Normally we're almost done at this point, usually, but we had a ton of people turn out tonight for it, which is great. So if you're interested in participating in any of the events, go to itsgosu.com and register for all the events. We do the COS or King of the Hills on Sundays. Tomorrow we have for our beta divisional, which is for bronze and silver leaguers, and then our alpha divisional on Tuesday, which is for gold and platinum, and then diamond on up on Wednesday. So tons and tons of stuff.
Well, I've got the calendar popped up now, but I've been saying this for the last couple days. This is going to be outdated very soon. We've actually, ever since we've landed the sponsorship with SteelSeries, we're going to have be adding more events. And I just want you to take a look at the calendar of what we're doing already. 20 events a month, $2,500 in cash and prizes have been given away just in our spring tournament series. That's been April through June. And we're going to be doing more. We're going to be adding on more events. We're going to be expanding our prize pools. We're going to be expanding into Europe. Going to be doing some European server tournaments. We're actually going to be, if there's any one complaint, and not a bad complaint, just guys saying, hey, we really wish we could play, but we can't for this reason, it's that we're East Coast based. So a lot of our tournaments we've been starting on East Coast time, and we're going to be changing that up, actually. We're going to be having tournaments on both time zones. They're going to be open, and it doesn't matter where in the hell you live, you can compete. But we're just going to be trying to start at least a few of our tournaments on a more acclimatable time for West Coast guys, so probably closer to like 9:30 EST, 6:30 PST for our West Coast viewers and our West Coast fans. So yeah, we got a lot on the way, guys. Doing 20 events a month now, looking to expand on that. And like I said, $2,500 in cash and prizes given away just April through June. We're looking to do much more than that come next month. So thanks so much for being here with us. Again, I'm AC, that's Red Mage JR, and this is our IG King of the Hill number 11, brought to you by itsgosu.com, brought to you by our lead sponsor, SteelSeries, that we've just picked up this week. Very happy about. Then, of course, all of our other sponsors, Cyberground, Max Integration, and Sanya Mabushi Jiu-Jitsu in combination, Goju Ryu School of Self-Defense. Check them out at sanyamabushi.com. So jumping into the match here, we're going to have Tobo taking on Narwhal. It's going to be a TVZ, my favorite matchup, just because I'm a science fiction nerd, man. I cut my teeth on Heinlein, and a lot of people don't know this. Aliens, Starship Troopers was written by Heinlein. Aliens, and actually StarCraft itself was based in large part on the writings of Robert Heinlein. In fact, if you go and check the credits of the original Brood War, the Brood War team actually thank Robert Heinlein in the credits of Brood War.
Wow, that's actually pretty cool. We have a question from the audience for you, AC.
Okay.
Hammy Ham would like to know: did you play Brood War Customs, and if so, Song or Temple Siege?
I honestly, I wasn't a big custom guy that much. Even then I was I was young whenever Brood War and StarCraft were around. Let's say it's been 12 years ago, give or take, so that would make me 20. I was 13 when StarCraft came out. And, and I was kind of late into the competitive scene of things. I was like the last guy on the planet to know who Boxer was. It still managed to actually give a damn about competitive StarCraft. I spent a lot of time, believe it or not, just really kind of in the Day 9 style. I didn't spend a lot of time in the clan chats or anything, but I spent a hell of a lot of time. There was a group of friends of mine. There was like 8 of us that went all the way through middle school and on up through high school. We played Brood War every single night, like no lie. We would play 4v4s on big maps. We would play 2v2s while the others waited. We'd set up little just pretend tournaments between us. So I didn't really play a lot of the custom maps. Even then, I was a big guy who would work on his build orders and work on it. Of course, at that age, and given I was a kid, and I had my head up my ass like all kids do. My idea of a build order, of an awesome build order, was like, a Reaver drop rush, and that's how I'd win 9 out of 10 of my games. I played Protoss back then, and I actually started StarCraft 2 as a Protoss player as well, before switching to Terran. But anyway, there's your answer. Sorry, I did not play the customs that very much. Probably one of the only ones I played consistently was Evolves. Evolves was one I played for a while, too, so if anybody remembers that, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, Narwhal is gone for this hatch first build. He's got his hatch down well before his spawning pool. And on Zelnaga Caverns, that could be kind of chancy against the Terran, but Tobo doesn't seem like he's in the mood to try and punish it directly. He's already got the tech lab up on his first rack. Second rack's on the way. A little bit of a delayed second gas here. Well, a little bit delayed. He's already up to 100 gas, and now would be the time when he would normally be wanting to take that second gas, but... so Tobo, we don't know anything about. If we can get a check on his caliber of play, I'd love that out of any of you lovely folks that are hanging out with us in the BattleNet chat as well as here on Justin TV. So, okay, I'm done talking. I've talked about myself way too long now.
Oh yeah, well we also had yet another question here. They wanted to know if we prefer League of Legends or Heroes of Newerth, and I'll kind
League of Legends
for us, AC.
Yeah,
we actually haven't played either one of them in depth enough.
Right.
But so far, when AC and I were kind of playing some games, is because we did have to learn a little bit about them before we start organizing tournaments for them. We're kind of leaning toward League of Legends. It's just a little bit easier to use. The community is a heck of a lot nicer to us as newbie players. And I personally like. I just bought Caitlyn.
Oh, did you?
Because I bought the Caitlyn hero, and I got her that resistance outfit, that Russian resistance looking outfit, because it makes you think of like probably one of the better World War II-esque kind of movies, the Enemy at the Gates there.
Oh yeah, such a good movie.
She kind of looks like Ralph or Rachel Weisz.
I was going to say Ralph. She looks like a Ralph. As soon as
she
she
looks like Ralph Fiennes in that movie. Yeah.
Looks like Ralph.
That was actually
looks like Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid.
Yes, but
but anyway, we both kind of lean towards League of Legends, and I can tell you flat out why I do. I am an unashamed, very proud Redditor. I actually just had my 2-year Reddit birthday yesterday, so get your head around that. No, was it yesterday? No, it was Friday. Actually, I had my 2-year Reddit birthday on Friday, and the Reddit League of Legends community is just much bigger than the Heroes of Newerth community, and because of that, I made my choice. Because really, you play one or the other generally. You don't see a lot of people who are big into both, and whenever I was trying to decide which one I really wanted to get into, I just took a look at the communities for both on Reddit, and League of Legends just dwarfed that of Heroes of Newerth. So I went with LOL, and quite happy with my decision. So, we're looking to do a lot of things expanding into League of Legends and Heroes of Newerth right now. Again, and I'm not going to bullshit you. We focus in a majority on StarCraft 2, just because as we've put together our little team here of myself, Red Mage, Voss, SKS, Dark, Mr. Mini-Me, our interests primarily lay in StarCraft. Doesn't mean that we shun or look down on the other games. It's just what we know. And we're looking to do a lot more events with those. So if you guys have any ideas, or there's anything you'd like to organize, or anything like that, feel free to type them in the chat, or you can pop an email to us. You can pop an email to me at editor@itsgosu.com, or to jrb@itsgosu.com. And don't be shy a bit. We live to interact with the community. It's our absolute pleasure. And so thanks, guys. Thanks for all the questions. But now we got StarCraft to talk about. That's twice I've had we see the Spine Crawlers up for Narwhal, being very, very defensive and very, very safe. He's got the lair tech just about 3/4 of the way done now, and Tobo has been on one base forever. So he's, as we approach the 8-minute mark, the fact that he hasn't expanded, hasn't even started a command center, he's getting very, very close to all in at this point. If he doesn't expand at some point, he's just going to be hopelessly behind. And Narwhal, he's going to have to suicide something in, or at least just run a little Zergling in and come into this area and spot that there's no expansion. As soon as he does, he can't really take a third himself, because if you're against a one-basing opponent, especially as a Zerg, you kind of can't just expand a ton, because even though they're turtled in and most likely aren't going to punish you, you're just going to be low on the unit count when the timing attack comes. And it looks like Tobo he's moving out. The question is he moving out to expand, or is he moving out to attack? Expand, just a very delayed expansion. So I'm going to take a stab in the dark and say that Tobo is most likely a younger league. We don't like the term lower league, but I'm going to guess he's probably a gold or maybe a silver player, maybe a little bit higher, but just way late on this expansion, and Narwhal's going to be able to just command himself into the mid game now.
See, that's exactly why you're the pro guy, because I'm sitting here going, yeah, Tobo's moving a pretty good pace for one thing, and then you're going to expand. And of course, that's why I'm still in bronze, because I don't have the game sense to be like, I'm behind.
Right. Well, at the 10-minute mark against a Zerg opponent, if your Zerg is competent, which Narwhal certainly is competent, you're pretty much, like I said, he's pretty much all in at this point. Because what's he going to do? What if this attack dies and he doesn't win right now? How does he respond? He's, he takes his expansion at his first expansion at the 12-minute mark, while Narwhal's free to double expand. I mean, that's kind of how you have to look at this. So he's moving out onto the creep now. This is a pretty strong little timing attack. The Baneling's coming in now. Narwhal's going to have to use some good control. This is in no way a decided attack. This could very much go against Narwhal if he doesn't control this just right with the Zerglings and the Banelings. But now he's going to, actually lost a handful of Zerglings there trying to run them past. Narwhal, I think, is making a big mistake here. He's trying to cut off the reinforcements, which I get, but he needs this army here to defend. But he's going to try and run up, and the gate's going to be closed, so there's nothing he can do about that at the moment. Now he's taking fire from this Marine. But now the tanks and the Marines continuing to push in. Almost no Zerglings here. Where did the Banelings go? Did he already spin them? I don't know where he morphed in. I guess the tanks took him down. Narwhal, I think, has made a big mistake by splitting his forces up too much. Now we've got a high Marine count here for Tobo, a handful of Marauders. The tanks are sieged up in range of this expansion hatch. I have no idea what Narwhal was thinking. Now he's going to respond, pull these Zerglings all the way back home, but he's going to lose this hatch without a doubt. And wow, I'm kind of baffled here. Just really sketchy decision-making here out of Narwhal.
Oh yeah, and Tobo, that nice fungal growth there, by the way, on Narwhal's part there, taking down a lot of that. But that hot medevac chick is going to be going completely bonkers there. I did find the Banelings. They're actually in that cluster of Zerglings there, just to the south of the base. They're gonna try to run up right now and try to take out some of those tanks running in right now. They take them all down, so that's good. So they was able to combat that, but. Yeah, now that he's lost that hatch, he's having to remake it. He's going to set himself
right.
Very
He's
far
actually,
apart.
yeah, they're actually like on even ground right now, which is bizarre to me. There's no way that Narwhal should have lost that hatch. Literally no way at all. Tobo continuing to one base though. He's got a Banshee out now, so he's going to try to continue to pour the pressure on multiple fronts with multiple attack styles. But yeah, I think Tobo's just saying, nope, I don't want to expand. I've got plenty of minerals back home. It's fine. I run a protectionist democracy here, not a problem. But Narwhal takes his third as well, and that's really what he needs to do to try and get the advantage back. But again, I'm just baffled by Narwhal's decision to send the bulk of his force down and try to counterattack into a walled-in one-base Terran when he had tanks and Marines breathing down his throat. Just didn't make any sense to me, and it cost him his hatch. And now, yeah, look, Tobo's taking his expansion. It's going to be a bit behind the hatch here, but Tobo, within a few minutes, because of mules, and just especially if he continues to be aggressive, which he intends to do now that he's got this Banshee.
There's a Banshee coming up the right-hand side. I say,
yeah,
hate to cut you off there.
No, I got it, buddy. I was on it.
Okay.
But the Banshee moving in now. It's going to go to work on the drones. The Queen's going to be there. No cloak in position right now. The fungal growth did not go off. There's the fungal. So, yeah, the Banshee going to be handled pretty easily. It looks like, yeah, Banshee cleaned up. So, but yeah, Narwhal's responding the way he should have now. He's expanding a ton. He knows his opponent threw away the bulk of his one-base army to try and put together that push. But again, Narwhal just lost way too much in that engagement. I'm still just a little baffled by it.
Oh yeah, and the other thing was he sent those Zerglings down, even though he saw it walled in. He didn't try to take out one of the supply depots, even though there was a Marine there. He might have been able to do some damage to the supply depot, maybe get a run in, but he just left them there. He should have just gone right on back. Okay, it's walled in, good, go back. It was just
wow. He just threw away another big number of Zerglings for literally no reason. I mean, there was honestly he gained. Yeah, I don't. Narwhal's not playing very tight at the moment. And we hate to be those casters who are like always talking down the players. We tend to try to focus on the positive. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Narwhal floating 1,000 minerals now. He's throwing away units, making some very bad decisions. There comes the point where we gotta kind of call it as we sees it.
Yeah, it's almost like he's I don't know if he's getting tired or is his brain starting to scramble? Is Johnny Five not alive? Because he is still expanding that creep very well, and it almost looks like he's about ready to put a heart in the middle of the screen there.
Oh wow! Some Banelings made it in. I barely missed it. It was just south of my camera. I didn't see him coming in. Took out a good number of SCVs there. I have no idea how many. Oh, he took out a shat ton of them. 21 harvesters to 58 harvesters now. Tobo well on the bad end of that. So good baneling harass there. Tobo now, this is like, what do you call it? Shutting the barn door once it's on fire, building the barracks now to block off the common knowledge hallway, but little too late on that.
Yeah, he did have a very good money scan and saw those Zerglings come in, and then that's when he threw down that barrack. So he was very right on top of that. He got pretty lucky with that scan, but he definitely was right on top of throwing that down. We see the neural parasite coming into effect right now for Narwhal, so we could see him grab a hold of some siege tanks or probably getting a medevac to keep those infestors alive. But we'll have to see what he's going to do with that particular with the neural parasite. You have so much you can do with it, and there's an Anthor right there, so we could take quick possession of the Anthor.
Anthor is on the field.
Thor.
Oh, that seems like so long ago, and really it wasn't, man. That's only been like 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah. It's been 4 months. It's unbelievable.
Yep. So Narwhal favoring a very Zergling infestor heavy army right now. In fact, he's got nothing but Zerglings and infestors on the map at the moment. We see the Banshees are going to get caught very, very easily by these infestors, but he does manage to take down a couple. The infested Terrans trying to clean him up. There we go. Both Banshees able to be picked off with the only doing damage to one infestor. So good exchange there for Narwhal. But yeah, Narwhal I think is playing a little bit better now. I think maybe he got complacent. Maybe he just said, "Oh, it's a one-base Terran, LOL, and I can just auto win." But so the sketchy decision-making, I think, has been reversed now. Some good baneling harass at the Naturals, really giving him an advantage. He's up on 4 hatches. He's a 150 supply to the 100 of his opponents. So long as he doesn't make any more kind of bleh decisions, I think he's going to be just fine to go get the win here very, very shortly. In fact, we see almost 100 Zerglings out right now, 2 banelings and 6 more infestors on the way, along with Hive Tech. So Tobo definitely way, way behind.
Oh yeah, I just found out that Tobo is actually a 4th level platinum.
Okay. So yeah, it's and again, I'm not trying to hate on anybody. I just think you could just kind of tell, you could tell he was plat. Kind of surprised me. I would have guessed gold or silver, but hey, whatever. Good for Tobo. Maybe he's just having an off day as well. But either way, Narwhal can.
Casting will do that to you. Tekken and I were briefly talking in the chat that he was